The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Horrible Gamers podcast, show number 458. Being recorded on May the 13th, 2024. I am one of your hosts, Jesus Gonzalez, also known as Jesus Walks Up. Today, I'm joined by my co-host from the West Coast, the best coast, Gunny Chief Henley Merrill is here. Welcome back, Henley. Welcome.
Hey, Jesus, how the heck are you, buddy? I'm doing great over here in sunny California.
I'm doing pretty damn good myself up here in sunny Oregon. It's been really sunny this last weekend, man. It was like 90 degrees plus. It was like 95 degrees the other day. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell's going on? It was hot, dude. It was like hot, man. Like really hot.
Yeah, we had some, like, not that hot for us, but it was more like 83, 85. So to me, that's like perfect weather, for outside working.
Good. Yeah. No, out here it was plus 90s on Friday. Saturday it was like 90. And then yesterday it was like pretty decent. It was like 80 something. And then today has been like 70s. So it dropped quite a bit today. But it's supposed to go back up to like the 80s for the rest of the week and a little bit of clouds, they said. But it's still pretty sunny outside. Did
you go outside? I think it was Friday night. Did you see the free RGB show?
No, I didn't. I missed it. I completely didn't even know what was happening until the next day. I get on Instagram the next day and see everyone posting photos. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, is everyone in like Alaska right now? What the fuck's going on?
That's what I was thinking.
I was like, did everyone fucking go to Alaska for like a weekend thing or something? What's going on right now? And then I saw that like that geomagnetic storm or whatever was happening across the world. And like apparently in the US, I think in other parts of the world too, you could see the Aurora Borealis or whatever. The Northern
is that the
Lights.
same thing as the Northern Lights?
Yeah, apparently you could see them across like almost the whole planet or some shit. It was like insane. But you couldn't see it with the naked eye. You had to see it with like a like a phone camera, with like a lens. You had to have like a lens or something to be able to see it. It was weird. Weird, right?
Yeah, I did see a lot of photos. Like, so for example, like Friday, I think I knew it was happening, but I was unfortunately injured at work, and I got off early, and man, I was taking pain meds, and I was like, I ain't going outside. But I think it was clear enough. I don't know if I could have just saw it with the naked eye, but people were like Mount Shasta, like they get some. That's a pretty high mountain, kind of between where I live and you live, Jesus.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
and I saw some pretty cool photos from there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cool photos from up here. Even my buddy went outside. Like he was at his house and he went outside and took photos, and they looked pretty good. But he said like you really couldn't see it with the naked eye. You could kind of see the sky looked a little bit different, but if you looked through your phone and you took photos, you can actually see that it was like pretty fucking clear on the phone, like the different colors and stuff, like green and red and blue and purple and shit. It was really cool looking. I was like,
Bill Berger showed some pictures from. I don't know if that was from his phone or.
Yeah, it was from his phone. It was from the coast actually here in Oregon. He apparently went over there for the week. I don't know if they went because of this thing was happening or what, but they were on the coast, staying at the coast for like the weekend or whatever. And he took some photos. At first, he posted photos of the beach, and I was like, no one wants to see photos of the coast. I want to see photos of the fucking lights, dude.
With that RGB, man.
Yeah, he fucking posted them. I was like, yeah, these are better. Oh, yeah, they're nice, though. They look cool.
So I think the next one, I think I was reading today that it could have been from earlier, but I think they said Sunday again.
Again?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen again, possibly. Depends on what the sun is doing.
They said it's because the sun fucking shot some fucking solar flares at us or some shit.
Which I never knew, like, that's how it was caused. I thought it was just, caused by something else, but I learned something.
Yeah, apparently it's caused by that, but apparently it's caused, like, it shot a lot of the fucking shit from the sun at us or something, like too much, and the planet is taking it all in or whatever.
Are we going to get radiated by that?
I don't know.
I guess
man.
we're always taking in radiation, aren't we?
Are we going to die from this shit? I don't know.
But we have such a thick atmosphere.
Yeah.
Wasn't there supposed to be a hole in the atmosphere? Whatever happened to that? Did that grow bigger?
I don't know. Wasn't it like over Australia or some shit?
Is that where it was supposed to be? Isn't it like it's already hot enough out there anyway?
Yeah, it was like
I don't see people
over
dropping dead over there, so it might be okay.
over Australia or somewhere down there. I don't know.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Anyways, you can follow us on Twitter at _horrible gamers. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can find us there as well. You can find us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Pandora Music, and Amazon Audible. You can also find us on Amazon Podcasts. What's the other one called?
TuneIn?
TuneIn. What's the other one? Kicker. What's the other one? Everywhere. Just literally everywhere that podcasts are found. You could probably find us. Just search us. You can Google us as well, which will give you different links to different podcast directories where you may find us. Or you can always head on over to our host, podbean.com, and find us on there. That's where we are hosted from. It's a very reasonable price per month or per year. And you get unlimited downloads and all that good stuff. This is not an ad for Podbean, but if you are looking to start a podcast, that's a pretty good site to start a podcast with because it's not really expensive, to be honest. I mean, if you
We've
look
only
at
had
the
really one issue, I think.
yeah, if you look at the other one, what's the other one called? I forget what is it called, like Blueberry, Burberry. What the fuck's the other one called?
It's some. I forgot the
What's
name of
it
it. I know what you're
called?
talking about. I've seen people advertise it on Twitter. On the X, excuse me. The social media site known as X.
Let's see here. There's
Do something.
Blueberry, there's
Yep.
Megaphone, there's Spotify, there's Podbean, there's Anchor, Podomatic, SoundCloud. I know SoundCloud is probably free, but it has a limit on how much you can upload. And our shows being like 2.5 hours long to 3 hours long end up being pretty sizable download sizes. I mean, even if you look at your phone and how much space is being taken up by our podcast, you're going to be like, what the fuck, guys? Because it's like
Yeah.
two.
It does
like
fail on my phone sometimes. It fails to download.
sometimes it's like 2 gigs, dude. I'm like, what the fuck, 2 gigs? Like it'll be like 2 gigs or like a gig and a half. That's a lot of data for like a
That's
fucking
after being
podcast.
converted to an MP3.
So, but yeah, I know that some sites they're pretty expensive, man. Like I think Blueberry, that one is pretty expensive. I looked at that before and considered switching over to that, and looking at the cost of it, it wasn't justifiable, man. Like what we need for that, it would be like it would increase our cost from like $15 a month or whatever we pay to like $90 a month or something. It was like insane. I was like, what fucking do that? I ain't no fucking way I'm gonna do that.
They better be
And I get-
advertising every week, every day. Yeah, that's
and
the
they
case.
have and they do give you like an app. You can like with that plan or whatever, you can make an app for your podcast. So that's kind of cool. Like you can actually make like a dedicated app that you can
Like John and
launch.
Michelle do?
Yeah, you can do that. You can like launch an app and have an app for your podcast on Apple Podcasts and Google Play. But I'm like, it's not worth it, man. It's too much money. Like that's too much money for me. I don't want to do that. Why would anyone want an app anyways? You just fucking go to like your favorite podcast player and download it there. Like that. That's what most people do.
That's what I do. I've got it on the iPhone. I've got it on the iPad.
Yeah. So yeah.
I've got it everywhere. Work phone, you name it. PC.
Also, big shout out to Phantom Egg for the intro music to the show and Broke for Free for the outro music to the podcast. And a big shout out to our Patreons that support the show with the monies over at patreon.com/horrible gamers, like Jason Sams, Robert Noble, Chad, Gunny Dark Arisen Ruler over Edmund Dragonsbane Baby Mode, Porkchop Poo, Nipron, best HP host ever, Evan Bamboo Master Tanaka, and Bill Garner II, Wastelander, and True Arisen. Big shout out to all of them for supporting the show with the monies. And yeah, let's go to some show feedback real quick. We got some show feedback for y'all. Nipron said, thanks for the shout out, Jesus, about me playing the guitar. You are welcome, Nipron. Keep
Subscribe
playing
to him
the guitar.
on YouTube.
He was actually pretty good. I was like shocked. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Nipron knows how to play a guitar? I was shocked myself. I was like, ain't no way. Like this guy playing Guitar Hero or something. No, man, he's out there just shredding, like just going all out, like pretty good. I'm like, damn. It shocked me. It shocked me. You
And
know,
he used to do that on Twitch Live too. It was cool.
Nipron, I know you're not single, but if you are ever single again, take your skills to like a college campus. Okay, listen, just take your skills to like some college campus. I know there's probably one near you. go to like UCLA or whatever. Just fucking walk around the quad and like start playing your guitar, and you'll get all the chicks, bro. You get all the chicks.
Go down to San Diego State, my friend.
Just you get all the chicks, dude. You just fucking play guitar randomly in the fucking quad, and you'll be getting all the girls, dude. All right. And Mac Mod said, "Have you any of you played Skur Ritual? And if so, what's your favorite map so far?" I don't know what the fuck Skur Ritual is, but maybe it's worth checking out. I don't know. Have you heard of Skur Ritual?
No, I was looking at that like on Steam. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like a COD zombie style horde mode.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a solo or co-op.
Okay. So is it like so it's just like a bunch of zombies or like bad enemies or whatever coming after you, bad guys?
Yeah, maybe we'll play it. I think it's there's a demo out there, Jesus, so we can both download it.
All right. I'm trying to try it. I mean, I like that Remnant 2 game. That was pretty cool. And if it's like that, I might give it a shot. Remnant 2 was actually really fun. I need to get back to that. But besides that, also we got more feedback. Gunny, you missed this one. This was from Edward, aka Evan the Bamboo Master. He said, "Laugh my fucking ass off. The hobo internet break in the show caught me off guard."
Oh, yeah.
You like that, Gunny? I mean, I don't know what happened there. I mean, that thing was spitting out facts left and right. I don't know what the hell. We had hobo internet issues, and we were trying to fix it, and the algorithm took over or something, dude. I don't know. It put everything on hold or something. It was weird, man. I don't know. It was just like hobo.
Was that like like halfway through? It was like, what happened?
Yeah, like hobo internet break. I don't know what the fuck happened there. It just happened. I don't know what to tell you guys. It was just spitting out all kinds of facts. It told us how big Ohio was. It told us Gunny was actually born before Yoda. And I heard you were there, Gunny, when Yoda was born. And that you are Yoda's godfather.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh wow, I didn't know this. Wow, this is some crazy knowledge.
Right, you are.
This is some crazy knowledge we fucking learned here, right? We didn't know. But yeah. So yeah, big thank you for the show feedback, guys. And yeah, head on over to Redbubble, get yourself some gear if you want it. Redbubble, such for horrible gamers, get yourself a t-shirt or whatever there. But let's talk about video games that we've been playing. Of course, the Mayo cannot join us this week because the Mayo is out doing Mayo stuff, which usually means he's probably working. Poor Mayo.
I know. You gotta work. You gotta make money. What's up with that?
Oof, that's lame. No one wants to work nowadays. He should just go live in his Camaro and he'd be fine.
To be kind of cramped in there. I mean, he's probably not a big guy, but still.
Just live in the Camaro.
What are those, like pop-up tents? Is that what they call them? You can just you can tow it, right?
Yeah, buy like a little RV tow fucking bullshit thing and fucking tow it with the fucking Camaro, man. Like,
and just get like a custom one. It looks like a Camaro.
Yeah,
like it's got the same wheels, everything.
Yeah, painted like the Camaro color, like white and red and shit, or white and black or whatever. Fucking
have the same taillights on it.
Yeah, you'll be set. You don't even got to pay rent no more. And then you just go steal McDonald's Wi-Fi to play games online.
That in Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah. You go to McDonald's and Starbucks, and all you gotta do is buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and you can just sit there all day playing your PC games. Just like take your whole setup in there and set it up on a table.
Just download your games in there, and then you can play them in the cloud in the car or whatever.
Yeah, man. Fuck. You should just do that, man. Who needs to work all this time? Yeah, you'll be working less and playing more.
Yep.
But let's talk about what we've been playing this week, Gunny. And I, of course, have been playing a little bit more of Helldivers 2. Jump back into that a little bit. There is a new thing coming out. I don't know if it's out yet or not, because last time I played it wasn't out, but it might be out now. But the new expansion called Polar something. Polar Soldier, Polar Star.
I don't think it's out yet. I think I would have saw it. I would have seen it.
Polar something. Polar Express. I don't know what it's called. Something about polar. That's all I know. It's supposed to be like cold. A snow themed DLC or battle pass or whatever. You can get that if you like and start progressing through that. But the other passes still remain. So if you want to get those, you can always go back and get those as well. They all unlock new weapons and new armors and new skins and shit for your character. But yeah, there's that. And yeah, Helldivers 2 has been really fun, man. Been playing quite a bit of that. It's still a fun game. The hasn't changed much, but it's still fun. Still fun. Now I did hear though that recently there was like a mod that these people released for it that turns it into like a it turns it into like a Star Wars game or whatever. So like you drop into the planet, right? And when you drop into the planet, instead of dropping in the drop pods, you fly in like one of those like whatever the fucking stormtroopers, the little ships they fly, you know? You fly in on one of those or whatever, and then you are playing as a stormtrooper, and then you're fighting like enemies of the stormtroopers.
Nice.
So like the robots are like the robots from like Star Wars and the robot faction. And I think on the alien side, I don't know what they're fighting over there. Maybe the Wookiees? I don't know who they're fighting on that side. But they're fighting something on that side too. But like, yeah, you look like stormtroopers pretty much. Which is a pretty cool, like it actually looks pretty decent. I was like, this is nuts that like some mod team made this, like some modders out there made this shit. And it's probably better than any Star Wars games that's released recently. Like that last one, what was it called? The Jedi one? The fucking what's it called? Jedi Fallen Order? Was that the
Is it
last one that
Fallen
came out?
Order? I think there's like it's now like in the vault in EA's vault.
Yeah, it was like $2 the other day for like the Ultimate Edition on Steam. That I bought that thing on day one. I bought the Ultimate Edition or whatever, and I haven't beat it yet. I'm still in like the first area. Like I I I got stuck or something about the performance hitched on me, and now I bet it runs really good. I should go back and play it, huh? I should probably just go back and try to beat it because the first two games were really good. This one seems to be pretty good too. So I should go and check that out and play it
Is it?
before that Outlaws comes out.
Yeah. So this is I don't know. There's only two of them, correct?
Maybe I thought there was maybe three. There's two.
Yeah, I think there's only two of them.
Okay, maybe this is the second one, but the other one was good though, right? The first one.
Yeah, the first one was really good. So I think the second one it had like a lot of performance issues. Yeah, especially on the PS5 for some reason.
Yeah. Anyways, besides that though, I played a little bit of Call of Duty. Now, going back to Call of Duty on the PC was weird, man, because there's a lot of new stuff out. Like the season is almost over, like in 19 days or whatever. I didn't buy the season pass for this one, but getting in there and playing the maps, some of the maps look different. They added like it's the same map as the old map, but they added like a new skin to it. Like Quarry is called like Inferno's Quarry or something like that, or Satan's Quarry. And it's all like red and volcano-y looking, and like there's lava on the map, and there's like fire and shit. Everything looks red, Gunny. It looks like hell pretty much, right? And then there's like a few other new maps too in the game. Like one's called Checkpoint. It's like a really tiny, it looks like a border checkpoint or something. It's really small. That one was really cool. I was wrecking people on that map the other night. I was like straight up murdering the other team. Like they didn't stand a chance. I don't know. It was my first time playing that map, and I was doing really fucking good. I was like, man, this is awesome. Best map ever made. And then what else did I play? So I played some Call of Duty. There's that. But I did also play some more.
Are you excited for the next Call of Duty installment?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Microsoft has to show. Of course, I'm going to play.
It's going to be a Black Ops, right? We just don't know the name, but we're sure it's a Black Ops game.
For the most part, yeah. People are saying, yeah, it's going to be a Black Ops game. So we're looking at Treyarch making it. And yeah, because apparently it was supposed to come out last year, but instead the Modern Warfare 3 came out because before that, Modern Warfare 2 came out, right? Like they did it like a back-to-back thing, right? Like they did Modern Warfare 2, then Modern Warfare 3 right away. And I think that in between was supposed to be Black Ops, and then Modern Warfare 3 was supposed to come out. But they delayed Black Ops for some reason. No one knows why.
Well, I thought the delay was because of the acquisition.
No. The delay was because of something else. They said that whatever gameplay they showed to whoever, I don't know who, they didn't like it, or something was wrong with it. Like something was different about it, like really different about it, that people were like, yeah, we don't think this is ready. You need another year for this. And
they have a lot of testers, so that was probably more internal.
And they were like, what the fuck? And they were like, okay, fuck it. We're just release this other Call of Duty that we've been working on. And they released Modern Warfare 3 like right away. And
That's right. Now I remember. Yeah.
that's why Modern Warfare 3 was received well, but like people kind of got burnt out on it right away because it's like, well, this is the same as Modern Warfare 2. What the fuck? Like, what's the difference with this 3-hour campaign that you guys give us? And shit was weird. It was the open world campaign. Remember they did that on this one or whatever? That like the Warzone map, and you were like in there doing some open world shit. It was really odd the way they did it. It was like half-assed thrown together almost. I mean, the multiplayer is solid, but the single player was atrocious. And so yeah, I don't know. This one they're saying no, that it's going back to like what Black Ops was, like the other Black Ops, like Cold War and Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and whatever the other one was called. And so yeah, they're saying it's gonna be they're thinking it'll be a reboot of the Black Ops franchise, kind of how the Modern Warfare, the new Modern Warfare, right? The 1, 2, and 3 that just came out in the last few years since 2019. It's a reboot of the original Modern Warfares, you know, like it's the same characters, but like a different story, a different bad guy, different people die, different people live, you know what I mean? And so this one, I think it's going to be that. I think they're saying that it might be a Call of Duty Black Ops with the same characters from Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, but with like a rebooted story, you know? So like you'll see like a reboot of that story. So it looks, I look forward to it because the original Black Ops had all that Cold War shit. Remember, it had like the whole like CIA brainwashing shit and the KGB brainwashing shit, where like they like had secret sleeper agents and shit. They something about some number. What do the numbers mean, Mason? What do they mean?
Yeah.
And then
Those
like
were good single player story campaigns as well.
Yeah, and then you're like, the guy's asking you, what do the numbers mean, Mason? And you're like, I don't know what they mean. And then he's like, yeah, you do know what the numbers mean. What do the numbers mean? And then you're like, the whole time you're playing with that.
Is that where you're getting waterboarded or shot up with some sort of.
Yeah, and then the guy's playing the numbers back on the screen, and you're looking at the numbers, and they're flashing, and he's like, what do the numbers mean? And then you're like having flashbacks to the missions that you're doing, and then you're playing with that one guy, Reznov or whatever, the Russian guy. And then at the end of the game, spoiler everyone, at the end of the game, you find out Reznov was your imagination the whole time because you were the guy doing everything in the missions by yourself. Like you were like in some missions where it was just you and Reznov, and you were doing the mission with Reznov and you were killing people. It was you killing everybody. And Reznov was just your imagination, and Reznov brainwashed you when you were like a prisoner of the fucking Russians or whatever. He brainwashed you to like listen to him or whatever, to do what he wants you to do. And that's why you were
born
doing
identity here, you know?
Yeah, so he brainwashed you, and then he made you go do all the crazy shit he was supposed to do. Yeah. What do the numbers mean, Mason? What do the numbers mean? So yeah, that was a cool game. But hopefully we'll get a new Black Ops. Anyways, besides that though, played all that. Played some more Fallout 4. Now I'm having a hard time with this game, man. I don't know if it's just the way the game is, or I just suck at gaming, but I'm dying quite a bit. I don't know what it is, Gunny.
It's a hard game. I
fucking die a lot, dude. I look, man. Okay, I was exploring, right? I'm in the beginning of the game still. I'm still in the beginning of the fucking game. Like a level 7, level 6, maybe 5, maybe. All right. I end up going to this satellite dish, right? I don't know. It looked like a satellite dish. I'm like, that place looks like it might have something cool. I go up there. It's like, okay, there's 2 bad guys outside, maybe 3 of them. I kill them all, Gunny. Then I'm like, okay, there's a door here to go inside. I'm like, okay, let's go inside. I go inside this fucking place, and I'm getting fucked up. There's like traps set up and shit, like electrocuting me. I'm fucking getting shot. I'm getting shot from left and right. People are everywhere in the hallways. There's like dogs coming after me and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I got killed. And it pissed me off. And then I respawned. And then I did it again, and I died again. And then I respawned, and I went somewhere else. And I found this place. And then this place that I found had like a fucking minefield set up around it or something. And I'm just walking, listening to my music, chilling. Oh, I'm going to check out this building. I walk up to the building, something blows up and it kind of damages me. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. I'm like, what the hell was that? What the hell just blew up and like almost killed me? And I was like, oh, whatever. I survived. I started walking in the room. Next thing you know, I started going beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Boom. Fucking blew up. and then in slow motion showed my whole arm being blown off and my head being blown off. It was like there was a like a
Yeah.
bomb on the counter or something, and I walked by it and I set off the bomb, and it fucking blew my head off. And it was like, oh, now you have to reload from this other save from all the way back here. And I'm like, oh, that's so fucking lame. I'm like, that's fucking lame. So I'm having a hard time with it, man. I don't know. Skyrim, I never had a hard time with that game. That game was just like from the beginning, it was just like, go do whatever the hell you want and you'll be good. Like yeah, the main quests are here, but kind of do whatever you want, man. You do whatever the hell you want. Go find this missing person. Go find this stupid flower. Go whatever. Like go find 10 pieces of wood and bring them back. Like random dumb little shit, you know. And that one was
Little
easy.
fetch quests.
Yeah, this one seems a lot more difficult, man. I got a lot of quests line like they're starting to pile up, but I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know like which one to go after first. I don't know what to do. Starting to get overwhelmed. People at the base want me to build them beds or some shit. I'm like, I don't have time to build you a bed, dude. Like maybe maybe I'll build you a bed, but I gotta go find some steel. There's a
Yeah,
lot of shit going
do a
on.
lot of you can find a lot of scrap around there, enough to build them enough beds.
Okay.
I think there's
My-
enough scrap around
Hmm.
Sanctuary. What is it called? What's the name of the?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Sanctuary?
is Sanctuary. Yeah, where you first start the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm just thinking back to just like my first playthrough. Like I know it was difficult, especially like when you get inside a house or you're in like a freaking what are those called? Just a factory, right? Where they build children's toys or something, you know? And it's like there's like you said, landmines everywhere, or there's a fucking robot that's just on a fucking wants to go on a murdering spree unless you can shut it down with one of the terminals. But it's like but there'll be like guys and they'll be like up these stairs, but in order for you to kill him, you've got to get into a line of sight with him, you know, if you don't have enough grenades or something.
Yeah.
So I'm always carrying like 20, 30 stim packs with me, you know, something to make sure I'm healed up. Because I did die a lot, especially when you get into like a lot of close quarters combat. Because you'd be like, oh, I killed the guy. And then two more run down the stairs and murder you. Like,
Yeah.
fuck. And, you know, like the power armor, like, I don't know when you actually get that in the game, but, you know, but that one's pretty handy too. Like if you've got the power cores for it. But I mean, you figure ever since I beat it the first time, ever since then, I think I always went back with like since they came out with the Creation Club, I always went back with cheats because you know baby mode, right? So stock up on all the ammo I possibly can, get the power armor, you know, all the items I could possibly get in using like a cheat room thing,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, just to kind of get through everything a little quicker.
But yeah,
So-
some playing that. Some of 'em, I think I'm gonna play more of it. Maybe drop it to baby mode and play it that way. I don't fucking know. I don't know what to do.
Or just add like a cheat room. I don't know. I'm not just recommendation. You can add a cheat room to it, and then you know get some of the items you need. I think you'll still die. You just won't die as much.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You can get some good armor. I think you still have to get through some part of the game to, you know, craft the actual armor.
Yeah. Oh well. What
Of
else
your
did I
sanctuary.
play? So I played some of that, and I also played a new game. So I played that game that I told you guys I was talking about last week that I bought. Was called All Quiet on the Front Lines or whatever. It's an RT like it's an RPG, not really, kind of an RPG, more like a strategy game. And it's kind of cool, Gunny. So pretty much think of it as you are a World War One commander for the German side, right? You become like a an officer, right? You have a squad, right? You have like a squad that's assigned to you. You're like an officer, and then you're on the front lines. This is what the game is. Like you literally are at the trenches of World War One. And then so like the game starts off, you're in the trenches and you kind of meet your group. It's like four different guys, you know, whatever their names are. I forget their names. But you know, you start off and you learn about them and then you can assign them to do things and they have like a little, I don't know if it's a meter, but it's more like a status, you know, next to their thing, next to their names or whatever. So the status would be like tired, hungry, hurt, or whatever, you know, stressed out or worried or whatever. And pretty much your goal is to keep them alive during the war and finish the war out, right? With this squad. And man, is this game fucking hard, dude. All right, listen, man, because like you command your troops, right? And then like when you're in the trenches, it's not always fighting. It's like you'll be there for like a week and there'll be no fighting, but during this week you have like tasks you have to do, and you'll have like your commanding your commanding officer, like the leader of the whole area or whatever, telling you, hey, I need you to send a squad up or like 2 people to help me build these defenses on this side of the fucking trench. And then you send your 2 guys out there to build it, but there's a risk to it, right? Like when you click on it, it'll say like, you can send these 2 guys out there, but the risk is they might get hurt, they might get shot, or they're going to get really tired or something if you send them out there. And then that's the risk you take, right? As a commander, you have to say, no, I'm going to send them out there no matter what. I don't give a fuck if they're deadbeat tired. They're going to go out there and complete these missions. So I started playing this game, Gunny, and fuck, dude. Fuck, 2 of my guys died, all right? They died for their country, Gunny, okay? Listen, they died for the fatherland, okay? They needed to die. It was part of the war. It's part of war. They got to die, okay? And one of them was a really good soldier too, man. He was like really good. He was a really good guy. Like I genuinely liked him. He was like my best soldier.
Damn.
And then he died because there is like combat sections in the game. And during the combat sections, it'll be like, okay, we need you to take this, we need you to take the next trench over, right? Like the next line of trenches. So you got to push the French back because you're fighting the French. That's the front that you're in. You're in the French. I think you're in France, but you are trying to push the French.
Front.
Yeah, you're trying to push back the French to take over Paris or whatever. So as you're fighting, sometimes it'll be like, all right, there's like fucking 4 or 5 squads of French soldiers, and they're pushing up on your trenches, and your team, your side, the German side, will have like 5 or 4 squads on the trenches on their side, right? And then you don't control the other squads. You only control your squad, and you can kind of see what the other squads are doing. But as you're doing the battle, like the commander will radio in, and he'll be like, hey, word just came in from command. We need you to push up. We need you to go forward. No matter what, you got to go forward, Gunny. No matter what, Gunny.
Hold the line.
Gunny, listen, Gunny, we don't give a fuck. Okay, if you don't have any goddamn bullets, I need you to send your fucking men forward, and that's the only fucking direction that you will move. You will not move back and retreat. You got to keep moving forward. And you can command your soldiers to stay put and like suppress fire and throw grenades at like if a squad of enemy soldiers gets close, you can like say, hey, I need you to throw a grenade over to this side, and they will throw a grenade over there, or they'll suppress that side. And then you can just move your soldiers around, and then you could get outflanked by the enemy. They could surround you and flank you and kill you or whatever. And you can take prisoners of war. Like if you injure an enemy and they're trying to heal them, and you run up on that squad, like you push your squad forward and they move up, that guy will surrender, right? He'll put his hands up and he'll be like, I surrender. And then you could send one of your squad mates to take that guy back to the camp as a prisoner of war, right? So you could be like, hey, I need Hans to take this guy back to base as a prisoner of war, and this other dude that's injured, he's going to lay here and die. Like, fuck him. We're going to let him die, and we'll keep moving forward in the trenches. Problem is, when all this happens, like, when the battles are going on, it really creates chaos, dude. Like, they do a really good job of making everything very hectic. Like you would, in a battlefield, like, you would be, like, freaking the fuck out, right? Like, you got, like, some people in your squad, like the younger kids or whatever, they'll be all scared and shit. They'll be like, oh no, I'm fucking scared. I can't do this. And you're like, and it'll give you an option, like smack him in the fucking head. And then you could smack him and be like, hey, get your shit together. We need you to fucking move forward. I need you to come with me and move forward. And he's like, oh, I'm fucking scared. I ain't doing it. And if they don't do it, they could refuse an order, right? Because they're so scared, they'll refuse an order. And they're like, I don't give a fuck if I get court-martialed. I refuse this order. And then you could like scare them. You could be like, no, motherfucker, like I will shoot you myself right here, right now, if you don't fucking move forward. And they're like, okay, I'll move forward. And then you kind of convince them, right? And there's all these shits going on, but at the same time, you got all these like gunshots and pot shots going off. You see like bullets hitting near your squad and almost taking one of your guys out, It is fucking hectic, dude. Sometimes your guys will get injured in the battle, and your guy will go down, and then you can command another one of your squad mates to start doing what do you call that?
Medic!
Yeah, you're doing first aid on him, right? So you command the other guy, hey, I need you to start healing him. And then while he's healing him, your team has to stay there. I mean, you can leave him. You can literally just walk away and have him heal him. Or you can stay there and help defend him while the dude is trying to heal him up. And then he'll be like it's turn-based. So like a turn will go by, the enemy will move. A turn goes by, then you get to choose your moves. And then like the guy will be like, hey, look, this guy's still bleeding out. I need a little bit more time. Can you give me more time? But during this time, you see the enemy troops. They're starting to close in on you, dude. And there was a part in one of the battles that I was in. At first, the commander's like, I need you to hold the line at all costs, right? That's what he said at first. And then he's like, I need you to push forward. I'm like, okay, let's start moving forward. And then during the middle of our moving forward, he's like, never mind. We need you to retreat. All full retreat right now. Just full fucking retreat. Like, get the fuck out of there. We're leaving right now. Get the fuck out. And I'm like, a full retreat? I'm like, my squad was like the lead squad in the trench, dude. Like, we were all the way up on the enemy base almost. And this fucker calls the retreat in. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what do I do now? And I'm trying to run my guys back, right? I'm trying to get them to run back to like our base, to our trench and retreat. And we're getting fucking shot up by all the French soldiers. They're all around us with machine guns and placements. They got like all these crazy shit, throwing grenades at us, using all kinds of crazy weapons. And we're getting fucked up, dude. So we get to like almost to our side. And one of my guys goes down. One of my good guys, he goes down and he's injured really bad. And he's like, oh, fuck, we think you took a bullet to the head. And I tell the other guy, okay, start healing him up. Like, we need to keep him alive. Like, try to keep him alive. We need to get him back to base. So we're trying to hold, right? And you see all our friendlies, all the other squads that were part of the German side, they start retreating all the way back to the base. And I'm like, holy fuck, we're the only ones left out here. So what I ended up doing, Gunny, is I ended up leaving my medic and the guy that was injured on the ground, and we left them behind. So we started off with 6 people. I walked away with 2 people in my squad.
Yeah.
Okay? So out
That's
of 6
war, man.
people, 4, like 2 of them got lost. I don't know how it said that we lost them. I don't even know how we lost them because sometimes they'll get confused. You give them a command and you say, we need to push this way. And they'll end up running the other way. Like they end up going the other direction. And either you can like turn around and try to go find them. But like in the middle of a battle, I'm not turning my guys around to go find one guy, right? Like, fuck that guy. He ran off by himself. Let him be lost. I don't care. Dude, I got back to base. The fucking commander ripped a new one in my ass. He was like, what the fuck did you do? Half your men are dead. The other half are in the fucking medical fucking tent. And what the fuck happened? And I'm like, well, first of all, motherfucker, I was like, you told us to go forward. Then you told us to hold the line. We're getting fucking artillery bombs dropped on us. Then you tell us to move forward while artillery is still dropping on us. And then we're almost at their base to capture it. We're almost pushing the French back. And you call a retreat. I was like, what kind of command bullshit is that? Like, who the hell is commanding us? Like, you tell us to go forward, hold the line, go back, go forward, go back, go forward. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, I was pissed.
You should have disobeyed orders, right? And just continued on and pushed forward.
The thing is, though, Gunny, the more you disobey orders, there's a meter for how happy the command or whatever is with you. Like, you have a status of like how favorable they are to you, like really high favor or low favor or whatever. Same with your troops, like your squad. There's also a meter with how favorable they are towards you as well. Like, it'll be like they really like you a lot. You're a good fucking squad leader. You are you're a good person. Like, you are like the best squad leader they could ever have. Or it could be like, no, they fucking hate your guts because you're a piece of shit. You keep sending them out there with no food. You keep fucking sending them out there with no bullets, like all kinds of fucked up shit, right? And yeah, man, I lost a lot of people. And the last time I played it, I think I got to a point where like most of my squad has been replaced by new people, and they're all pretty tired. And instead of, because there's like a thing of status when you can click on their name and you can have a conversation with them about their family, where they're from, where you from in Germany? Where did you grow up at? You can have conversations with them or whatever. And sometimes there'll be dialogue that they'll ask you like, hey, Commander, do you think you can ask the 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 lieutenant if we could get like a day off because we're fucking so tired. Like we keep doing these patrols and these like we have to go through town and do a patrol. We have to do a patrol at night. We have to watch the prisoners. We have to do our laundry. We have to cook. Like, can we get a fucking day off? And you try to ask for a day off, and the commander laughs at you because he's like, no, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit squad leader. Fuck you. We hate you. Your squad gets no days off. And you're like, fuck. So my squad has said that they all feared me.
Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know, right?
But there's three different status. There's like neutral, like whatever, like neutral, like whatever. There's respect, which like it shows like a little guy like saluting you, and then there's fear, which shows like a guy with his hands up, cowering or whatever. And it's like all my squad fears me, dude. Like they all fear me because I will not fuck around. I will send them out to face death if I have to, Gunny, and I have. And they will fucking die out there. And I feel bad. Honor. I feel bad, man, because first guy that died, I took it upon myself to grab his belongings and try to find his family and ship it back to his family. By the time the third guy died, I was like, fuck his belongings. Throw him away. His family will be fine. We don't need to waste the time or resources to find his family and send these things back. Fuck this shit.
So what, we'll just going to be MIA? That's what you're going to tell the family?
No, tell him he died. But we're not giving them his shit back. We're keeping it. It's getting thrown into the stockpile of extra things we have. Listen, man, we have no food. The rats keep eating our food. Okay? Fucking rats eat our food. People, we can't do our fucking laundry. We have to do our own laundry. And then we have to scare the town people, like the ladies in the town or whatever, because we're like in a French village. And they hate us because we're the Germans and we are invading their country, right? So they fucking hate us. And their husbands are fighting us on the other side, right? The French, they're fighting us. And these women, we're telling them, we're like, hey, we need food. And they're like, fuck you, you German piece of shit. And we're like, all right, motherfucker, fuck you, we're taking the food. And then we just go in there and we steal the food. And then we make them do our laundry. It's just a fucked up game, man. Like, you can make some really bad choices in this game. Like, it's pretty dark. I try to be the good guy. Listen, man, first time I played through, right, I tried to be the good guy, Gunny, right? I was trying to be the leader that would, I would refuse orders that would put my men in danger. I would, not have them do things they were supposed to be doing from command. And you know where that ended me at, Gunny? You know where that ended me up at?
Where?
I ended up getting court-martialed.
Oh, I thought you were going to get medals.
Okay, listen. I ended up getting court-martialed and then demoted, and then I got sent to prison first. I didn't even get to say goodbye to the squad because I got sent to prison, and then they sent me to the front line, and it was like, game over, you fucking lost. So this time around, I'm like, I ain't losing, motherfucker. I'll make sure I stay in power. I don't care how many of these fuckers die. I will replace all of them, and we will win this fucking war no matter what.
That's hard choices right there.
It is, man. It is nuts. That game is pretty crazy. It reminds me of this War of Mine. Remember that game, this War of Mine?
I do. I never played that all the way through.
Where you're really you're not moving the characters yourself. You're kind of just clicking on things, and the camera kind of moves over, and then it shows the dialogue or whatever. The dialogue that shows up in your screen kind of shows up as your personal journal, and it'll be like April 5th, 1917 or whatever, 16, 18, whatever. I'd be like, today the lieutenant came into the barracks and he told me that we will need to get ready for a new offensive. And the other commanders agreed. And then it shows what you chose. It shows like you didn't agree. You kind of were trying to talk back to like how this was a bad idea. Or you could have been like, no, I just agreed. And then the game continues as you're clicking choices. And it'll start filling out the journal like, oh, and I nodded in agreement as well. And now the commander said that we will be leaving tomorrow morning or whatever to the trenches. And like all this crazy shit's happening. It's fucking nuts. And like I said, there's like a food thing. There's a tiredness meter. There's a food meter for like your base. And how much food do you have at your base? And then like how often your soldiers get fed. How tired they are. How much rest they're getting. And pretty much, I'll tell you this right now. Pretty much no one's getting any rest. everyone's really hungry, and like I think some
They're
of them
all
are like
scared. Yeah.
they're all scared, and I think some of them are like shell shocked, like they don't like they're really scared of like the going back to the trenches. Like they're super scared. Like they don't. I think they're gonna try to desert. Like they're gonna try to leave. You know, like leave. Because because one of the guys asked me what would be the punishment if I left, and like you have different choices. Like like I don't know. You could be like, you'll probably just get court-martialed, or you could be like, no, I'll put a fucking bullet in the back of your head if you try to leave. And that's the choice I make. I'm like, yeah,
Got to be a
it'll give you,
strong leader. You ever see
yeah,
that movie?
man,
That movie that was on Netflix last year, All Quiet on the Western Front.
yeah.
That was like a remake, I guess, from an earlier film.
It was. It was a remake of the original film. Yeah, so this is called All Quiet on the Front Lines, and like I said, it is very dark, very grim. Everything's. I mean, I guess it is war, right? Like and probably the bloodiest war ever. Like World War One, dude. Think about it. Like back then is when like people went from using fucking muskets to fucking machine guns and artillery and tanks and all that crazy shit, airplanes and shit. You know what I mean? Like none of that shit was in the wars before that, dude. Like, you know, that's the crazy part about World War One
Yeah,
is
they were
we're all
using bayonets, right? Back before that.
yeah, they were using like
Muskets.
cavalry.
Cannons.
In the beginning of World War One, when the French were fighting the Germans and when they were defending against the Germans, you know why the Germans took so much land so fucking fast? It was because the French were fighting the Germans like the old style. Like they had like cavalry charges and shit. They they would like line up their horses and have the cavalry just charge forward while the fucking Germans were just filling in the back with like fucking machine guns and fucking artillery fire, just taking them all out, dude. Like you fucking dummies. Like we're gonna blow you guys away with your fucking horses. We got machine guns and fucking artillery over here, dude. And that's like it's crazy, like how like if you look at that war, like the history of that war, it's fucking nuts how much the tech changed. Like how the French commanders had to change all their tactics. They had to learn all this new shit, dude, because they didn't know about all this shit. Like, what the fuck is this artillery shit these guys are using against us? What the fuck are
I don't
these
know
machine guns?
I don't know what turned the tide of the war. I don't know like all the history stuff, but just thinking about that movie that I saw last year was like the tanks, like the representation of those tanks were something
Fucking
else. Like,
scary, dude. Can you imagine being
yeah,
in
they
that
were
war? Like
scary looking.
you never seen something like that in your fucking life. And next thing you know, you got this big metal fucking thing coming at you, shooting flames out of it and shit. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that would be scary as fuck. You know, like a fucking, you got a little musket fucking thing shooting one bullet at a time, and then you hear a machine gun going off in the nest.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what the fuck is that thing, dude? You know, like a big ass machine gun going off somewhere. You're like, what the fuck? But yeah, the game is pretty cool, man. I look forward to seeing what they do with the story. I need to play more of it though, because I still haven't got to the end of the early access missions or whatever. Like I've gotten pretty far. I think I'm gonna barely be able to scrape through, but I don't know, man, because like my favor with my commander is really low. My troop morale is like super low. We have no morale left. We're fucked. We're like half my guys are injured or dead.
They need a
Some
pep
of
talk.
you could try to talk to them. Like the pep talks could be like random shit, right? Like sometimes they'll be arguing with each other because like one of the things that came up was that like as I was walking by, I noticed there was a ruckus going on at the camp, and I look over and I see one of the soldiers grab another guy by the neck and put a knife to the neck of the other dude, and he was calling him an Italian piece of shit because we just learned that the Italians joined the French or whatever in the war or whatever. Like Italy joined the war, but Italy was against Germany or some shit. And the guy had an Italian last name, but he was a soldier in our army, right? He was in our group and he was in our squad. But the other guy was like, "Fuck you, you Italian fuck! Like I'm gonna kill you, you fucking traitor! Like you're a fucking spy for the Italians." And the other guy was like, and
Damn.
you could totally intervene, or you could just be like, "I didn't do nothing about it. I just kind of just sat there and watched." Or you could be like, "No, I broke it apart and I told him you need to calm the fuck down. Like we're all on the same side, you know." So you gotta like, there's different moral choices you could make and all the things that are going on in your squad, between your squad, and around your squad, like the things outside that influence it, you know. But yeah, man, that game pretty deep, kind of very cool though. I like it.
Looks like a lot of different outcomes, like based on
Yeah,
the choices that you make.
I think there can be because the first time, only like I don't think anybody died in the first time. The first time I played it, but that's when I got court-martialed. And I thought, well, maybe nobody died because I wasn't fucking sending my guys out with no bullets and shit to fight in the battle. You know what I mean? Like they have to scavenge for bullets as they're going through the trenches. Like, no, like I told the commander, no, we're not doing that. We're staying put right here and we're going to retreat when we need to retreat. And that's all we're doing. And then my morale would always fall because it would be like, command is pissed off that you didn't follow the orders or whatever. And it's like, well, fuck them. Like, they're giving us shitty orders, dude. Like, like one of the orders was, all right, we're going to attack the French and we're going to take them by surprise and we're going to use artillery to cut off their reinforcements, right? That was the whole plan, Gunny. We're going to use these big artillery guns that we got because we're going to shoot them and we're going to cut off the reinforcements of the French. Well, guess what happened, Gunny? All right. I'm up there with my squad. We're all chilling. We're ready for this battle. We're running up to the trenches, right? We're pushing back the French. We're thinking, fuck yeah, we're kicking their asses. This is going great. And then the artillery fire starts, right? You hear the boom, 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 boom in the background, right? Okay. A few seconds go by. Where the fuck do you think the artillery fucking started landing on us, dude? And we're like, what the fuck? We're being bombed by our own artillery. And then the command is like, keep pushing forward. And then guess what? The French reinforcements that were not supposed to come because they were supposed to be cut off by the artillery, all of a sudden showed up. And they're like, okay, now we need you guys to retreat. And it's like, dude, like, really, man? Like, you guys fucked this whole thing up. We would have had this place. We would have had this trench. We would have had this whole area. And you dummies not bombed us instead of the enemy. Like the enemy, you could have bombed them and you bombed us.
You got some bad intel, man.
That's the shit that
Bad
pisses me
commands.
off. Yeah, so like, but like, I guess, I guess that type of shit happens in war. People just miscommunicate, like, I don't know, man. It happens. Cool
yeah, friendly
game.
fire, right? It
Yeah.
happens.
But a very cool game. I liked it. It's called All Quiet on the Western Front. Check it out if you're into like turn-based historical strategy type games. I don't know if it's really historical. It's more like a war simulator than historical. I don't know how historically accurate it is. I mean, all I know is it's based in World War One, and you are on the German side, and you are a something Truppen, a commanding Truppen.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
Some fucking storm commanding troop, or no, an Orban Struffen commander, some shit. I forget how do you pronounce it. They give you the name, but I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. How do you pronounce this shit?
I don't know no German.
Yeah, you're like a
Unteroffizier something. I know Sprechen Sie Deutsch. I know Schnell, Granada. I remember those from Medal of Honor.
Are you? You are a Scharführer, maybe, or you are an Oberscharführer. Yeah.
That's it.
That's whatever the fuck it says here, a senior squad leader. That's what you are. Whatever. Anyways, play some of that. I played a little bit more of Bomber Crew, man. I built my plane up pretty quite nicely right now. I was trying to still build it up more though, because I know the missions get really hard. I know people start to die, and I'm just trying to get as much maxed out on that plane. So I'm like grinding missions, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Gunny? You're doing like the same mission, not the same exact mission over and over, but like the easy missions before the story missions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
To get like points and get like XP and shit to level up my guys and level up the fucking plane and get better armor on it and whatnot. That's what I've been doing, just grinding away at those, man. So hopefully I'll get that figured out eventually. And,
Jesus, I'm curious why, like, did you ever get into like did you ever want to get into like an RTS? Maybe not so much like a multiplayer, constant, but just something single player.
Like what?
Like, what's a good example? I mean, I always sucked at them, but what am I thinking of here? Just some of the RTS games that are on Steam or PC or everywhere else.
I've seen them and I like some of them, but some of them I don't like, man. Like, okay, I like the concept of some of them, but they're just too deep for me. I don't like how deep they get. I like strategy. I don't want to pull out like a fucking almanac, all right, and like fucking study this shit to learn how to play a fucking game. I hate that about some games that like there's a strategy to them, but you have to study it so much to finally learn how to play the game, and that's not fun to me. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, I was thinking of like Company of Heroes, or
I think
I
I'll
think
like those.
like especially like a war one would be good
I think those
for
would be
you.
fun. I've I played like for example, there's that Dwarf Fortress game or whatever on
Yeah, I think that's
Steam.
on Game Pass. Yeah.
Might be on Game Pass too. I don't know. I know it's on Steam though, and this is like a very pixelated looking game, right? Very simple graphics. But in terms of what you can do in that game, it is fucking insane, dude. You can literally build a civilization and watch it collapse and watch a whole new civilization rise up in the place of that civilization. Like it is nuts the depth of what I've seen people do in that game and how far they could have got in that game. It's nuts. But when I try to play it, I'm like, I don't have the patience for it. I don't have like the. I guess I just don't. I don't have the patience to sit there and like
Me
grind it out.
neither.
You know,
I think
this
that's
is
the
what I
same goes
don't
for me.
have.
I think for us
Yeah,
growing, mainly, kind of growing up as, console kids or whatever, getting into the PC space is a little more involved.
it's really like that
But I've
shit.
always wanted to play those.
I mean, that shit looks so cool, man. Because I mean, I watched a YouTube video of this guy. He had like these dwarves that like they went to war with each other over. They went into like a civil war in the fucking in the game. Because you build a civilization, right? And you start off and you build like a little base, and then the base grows and it grows and grows and grows. Think of like a Fallout shelter type, where like you're going underground, and there's more dwarves and more and more and more, and then you have like a million fucking dwarves living in this place, right? Well, what happens when there's a million dwarves living in an area? There's the rich dwarves that have like all the nice shit in the certain areas. There's the poor ones that have like nothing. They're like the coal workers and the coal miners of the area. There's the thugs that turn to like crime that like they start robbing people and killing people and shit for their stuff. Then you can hire like military and police, and you can have a government. You can have patrols. You can have certain laws in place. You can have all these rules set up, and the game just plays, and you can just see what's going on, and then you're adjusting as things are happening. But it's so involved, dude, and it's like, I don't want to learn all that. It's too much learning. Maybe if I sat there and watched a YouTube video for like 3 hours to learn
Yeah,
how to
yeah.
play it, I would really get into it. But I think once I would get into it, it would be like, oh, I would want to play forever, like for the longest time. You know, that's the
Yeah, I
other
feel like
issue.
if it's like, I know you've played them before, like a Civilization style type,
Yeah,
but I don't know if you've ever done, like, I guess I was specific about like like a versus multiplayer, mode, but a little more involved, right? You'd have to,
yeah, I know. I like
yeah.
Civ. Civ is fucking fun. I could spend hours on Civilization, but like I haven't tried the other ones. There's like that one on Game. Was on. It was on Epic, and then it was on Game Pass. It was
I mean,
like
there's,
before. It was called Before We Leave. There was that one. There's another one called like Human something, Humankind maybe, or Humanity or
oh, I
some
think it
shit.
was, yeah, I think it was Humankind.
And then there was another one called something else. And these all have like strategies, building,
Age of
managing to
Empires,
them.
there's all kind, yeah, there's so many different
Yeah,
ones.
Age of Empires. I played a lot of different ones, and I like some of
The
them. Some of them
Warhammer
I don't
ones,
like.
yeah.
The Warhammer ones are cool. Like the one that I played with the samurai people or whatever was cool. Um, there's cool ones out there, man. That you can really get like super deep into them. Like, but you have to have like time to do that. And once you're into it, it's like that game kind of like wants you to only play that game. Like it doesn't want you to play
Yes,
nothing
yeah.
else. You know?
It
Because
kind
if
of
you
reminds
forget,
me,
yeah.
it kind of you know what, I know this is different, but it totally reminds me of like a MOBA in some ways, where it's like, oh my gosh, like the first time I go to play a MOBA, I'm like, the fuck am I doing? Like I have no idea. And then I go to watch a stream, but it seems like
Yeah,
it's easy for them, but it's like such a build up, and strategy and time
yeah.
that they have to put into it.
There's a lot of strategy to these games. So yeah, man. I want to play that Mana Lords, but I'm afraid to play it because I'm like, I want to play Fallout. I don't want to start playing Mana Lords and then get sucked into Mana Lords, and then I'm fucking stuck on Mana Lords, and I forget about Fallout. I want to play Fallout. I want to be Fallout. Uh, so yeah. There's that.
Yeah, I think you can get through the story pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
you
don't remember
can,
how many
right?
hours it was in Fallout 4 for could have been 25 hours if I remember
But
correctly.
I also like games
Roughly.
like shooters and shit. I also like Call of Duties and Battlefields and Helldivers and shit like that. And what I love about Helldivers is that it's not PvP. I like that it's only PvE and that there's like a game master to it. You know, there's like the guy who runs the war, and you get little constant different updates of what's going on in certain parts of the galaxy or whatever, and like where you have to push back, where you don't have to push back. That's a really cool concept for a live action game. They really did a good job with it there. Like it's constantly keeps you engaged. You know what I mean? It keeps you wanting to know what's going on in the universe. Like, okay, what's going on with the bugs now? What's going on with the robots? Oh fuck, the bugs are now like spreading even faster and stronger, and they're becoming better at what they were. You know, etc. Like all this crazy shit's going on. Like the new thing that happened was a few weeks ago there was like a mission, right? This mission that we were doing, and it was to set up these. We were setting up these like they were called insecticide. Like it was like a big base, and pretty much it was shoot like this insecticide into the atmosphere and kill all the bugs off in that planet, right? Like that was the concept of these machines we were setting up. So we had all these missions to go do all these stupid setups on every planet, and we did it. Well, it turns out that some of those machines weren't really like working how they were supposed to, and instead of killing the bugs, it turned them into like super bugs or something, and they started spreading faster. Like they became like they were able to overpopulate like really fast, like faster than normal. Like they were able to like produce more and more bugs way faster than normal, but not just like normal bugs. They were even stronger and faster than normal. So now when we go back into those plans to shut down the machine and you know shut it down and make sure the machine is shut down, well now we're finding bigger, stronger, faster bugs, and that's kind of the cool concept of that game where they're
I
keeping
feel
it
like you have a
fresh.
mole. Jesus, I feel like you have a mole in your science division.
That's what they said, and they were like, "Oh, the scientists involved with this production have been all arrested and are being thoroughly questioned
Okay,
by the
that's what I thought.
by the department of the fucking hell divers or something. They were all arrested and they're being interrogated or whatever thoroughly. Um, but yeah, like isn't it like it's kind of crazy, right? Like all this crazy shit that like is going on in that world. It's cool as fuck, and I like that. So I hope more games do that when they go live action instead of this whole like that flop that was Suicide Squad, like that whole season live shit. I don't know how well that works for some games, man. Like the whole season thing, you know? Like, oh, season one, season two. It works good for multiplayer, but I don't know about single player. Like, what other games have done seasons in single player that I don't know, man. Trying to think.
I can't think of any.
I guess Diablo does it, right? Diablo
Oh,
does seasons.
yes.
And I guess people don't complain much about that, but are people really buying the seasons on there? Or do you have to buy them or are they just
I
free? How
don't
does
think
that
you have
work?
to buy them. I'm pretty sure you don't. I think it just automatically changes.
Because
Am I
that's
right?
weird. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it automatically changes because if you don't play for a while and you go back, it's like a new season, right? Like it's just, yeah, just
Yeah.
there.
All right. Well, I don't know, man. I
I
don't know,
remember
but
that,
yeah.
especially with Diablo 3, don't play it for 6 months. I come back to it. It's like, oh, what season is it now? I don't think they had a number to it either in Diablo 3. I think they actually had names. So I couldn't tell you much about Diablo 4, the way their seasons work.
Yeah. All right, man. But I think that's all I've been playing, really. I mean, just that little bit of stuff. I actually I did play more of 6 Days in Fallujah.
How is that game? I mean, I see it keeps popping up on Steam, whether it's on sale or I'll scroll by it. Well, how's the updates on that?
Uh, so they just got a new update recently, and it pretty much added some new animations. It made the AI a little bit less aggressive, but more smarter in how they react to you or whatever. But that game is still hard as fuck. I mean, they talk about how like the AI was tinkered a little bit to make it like damn near impossible to finish a mission, but it's still a hard game. But it's fun, man. Like it's really cool being in that like you're like in some fucking rundown city in Afghanistan or something, and you're trying to kill these terrorists or whatever, and you're trying to complete some objective, whether it's take out all the mortar teams or take out this base or whatever. The audio in that game is nuts that's the one thing that I will give that game is that the audio, it, it is crazy, man. Like when you're in an alleyway, right, and they have like that spatial sound so down, like the like everything you can hear things around you, and like your mic is open mic, or you can mute it and have like a walkie talkie with your squad. But you can also like if you're just next to your squad mate, you could just talk to them if you're open mic. You can just be like, "Hey, dude," and it sounds like you're talking to them right next to them. But when you're over the walkie-talkie, it sounds like a walkie-talkie. So they did a good job with that. Like when you're using the walkie-talkie, it sounds like you're using a walkie-talkie. When you're right next to them, it sounds like you're right next to them. But when you walk into a building, or like if it's a big building and there's like a big roof or ceiling or whatever, like a vaulted ceiling, it echoes, dude. Like your guys, when you talk, your voice will echo in the fucking like in the building. Gunshots will echo. Like different things like that. It's that audio in that game is nuts. And but yeah, they did a few updates to like tweak the AI. They tweaked some other things. They added some more animations and some other stuff. The first time I tried to play it, it crashed on me a few times. I went back to it. It finally started working. I played a little bit. I think I did like one or two missions with these random people, and it was all right. The thing I don't like about that game is that some people take it seriously and they play the game like it's meant to be played. We're supposed to go slow,
Yeah.
and
That's what I've noticed about that, right? It's not a rush, run in and get out.
no, I
Yeah.
mean, some missions do have a timer. Like it'll be like you have 10 minutes to complete this task. Like clear out this area, clear that base out, take it out, and you have 10 minutes to do all this. And it's like, okay, you got 10 minutes. All right, let's get this done. But a lot of missions don't have a timer, and these guys are in there playing like it's Call of Duty, man. Like they're just running around, fucking just running down the fucking alleyway, like full send, like no fucks, like just riding down the middle of the alleyway, right in the wide open, and next thing you know, the mortar team spots you. And if the mortar team spots you, guess what? They start shooting mortar shells in that direction where they spotted you. And that's something that the game does a really good job at, where when the mortars blow up near you, they will fuck you up. Your character, your player or whatever, your guy will go down and he will die if like that mortar hits right next to you. Oh, you're fucking dead. You're gonna die. Like there's no surviving that. But yeah, the game is cool, man. I think that it's for some people. Maybe it's not for everyone though. If you liked Ready or Not, you would like this game. If you do not like Ready or Not, you probably won't like this game because it's like the same thing where you have to be slow and thoughtful about your approach to things.
Methodical.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I've
Dude.
noticed that, right? Everybody's moving really slow every stream I watch. Tell me about any more Gray Zone Warfare?
Oh no, I haven't played more of that yet. Last thing I did was I went in there. I was doing a mission and I think I completed it, but now I gotta go back in there and see what else is going on. I don't know if my faction has died out yet or not because we are the weakest faction in the game. But maybe we got more people now. I don't know. No patches since the last time the game came out or the last time we spoke. There was a few hot fixes since then and now. They did a few things to the game where they improved some shit, matchmaking or bandwidth and all this crap. And they added the ability to like reset your faction or whatever, which resets your character and everything. But I look forward to seeing what else they do with that game because that game, once again, another game that does a really good job with audio. They do a really good job with the graphics. I mean, the graphics look really fucking good in that game. Yeah, it's still
they
like
do. That's for sure.
you could tell it's still like you could tell it's a video game. It's like, oh my god, it looks like it's real life.
You can
No,
tell
of
it's a
course
$40
not.
game. Yeah.
But it looks really good for a $40 game. Like it looks solid. Like yeah,
I don't know how
it looks
much it
just,
actually is, but just pointing that out.
it looks like Tarkov or whatever. It looks just like it, and it actually runs a little bit better than Tarkov, and it's a little bit easier to understand. And yeah, but also
What
Brink.
I did listen, Jesus, I did listen to VGO and John and Michelle, and John mentioned that like one of the fixes that they had was like I guess when your helicopter lands, I think there's like 5 seconds of where you can't take damage, so nobody can like. I guess the thing is like if people are like sniping.
Yeah.
So I guess as soon as you land, you got to run. I assume that works.
Yeah. Did they? So you're saying they added a buffer? You're saying they added a buffer to like to be able to run or whatever?
Yeah. So where I think he was saying like there wasn't there
No, there
wasn't
wasn't
even a
one.
timer on it before, where
No, there
basically like the
wasn't.
second you land, people
Yeah.
that are camping can just take you out. Where I guess
Oh
now
no,
you get 5 seconds.
it happened to me like 3 times in a row, dude. This guy from the other team, from another faction, was camping this landing zone, and me and my teammates kept going there, and he just fucking literally he must have killed 20 people. No one had a clue where he was at,
He
dude.
had the perfect spot. Yeah.
He had a good hiding spot, you know. He probably had like I think he had a suppressor on his gun because we could hear like the thud of the gun going off, and then you'd be dead. Next second you'd be dead. You could hear the thud, but you couldn't see a flash of a gun, and you pretty much couldn't see where he was at, like at all. Like he was just, and then he would take everybody out. Like you hear a thud of the gun going off, and then one guy will drop. You hear another one, the other guy would drop. And this game is like if you get if you get shot in the chest or the arm or the leg or the back or whatever, you can kind of bandage yourself and like keep yourself alive. Like you'll start bleeding out right away. And depending on the damage you took, you'll bleed out really, really fast or you'll bleed out kind of slow. If you got shot in the arm, you'll bleed out slower. If you get shot in the chest, you're gonna bleed out pretty fucking fast, right? But if you are quick enough, you can start applying bandages to yourself real quick and your character will still be really fucked up. You'll be all dizzy, the screen will be all blurry and shit, but you're not gonna be dying right away. You know, if you bandage yourself up, you can kind of slow the bleeding, maybe not stop it, but slow it and try to call an extraction out. But this guy, he would just take headshots, and a headshot is lethal, like right away. Like someone headshots you, you're dead. Like there's no healing yourself. There's no I'm gonna try to fix myself up or something. Like, nope, you got shot in the head, dude. You're fucking dead. You're done. You're out.
Med packs are not going to help you.
No trauma kit's gonna save you. And like sometimes you'll fall into like a coma state. Like if you get shot in the chest really bad, like you'll fall down and you'll be in a coma state, which means your character is still alive, but you're bleeding out in a coma state and you can't move. So the thing there is a teammate can run up to you and they can start doing first aid on you if they have the correct items, right? Like if they have the right bandages and trauma kits and shit and blood packs, they can start like trying to patch you up, you know, and fix you up to gotta get you back up on your feet. But
no smart soldier is going to do that in a freaking active fucking
no one ever.
war zone.
I think
Sniper, run.
I think one guy revived me one time, and that's because I was helping him find his objectives, and then he was kind of running around with me, and we were both doing the same objective, so we kind of just ran together for a minute. But yeah, other than that,
you're yelling for help. It's like, Jesus, this ain't Battlefield, baby. Here, okay? This is a real man's war, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the gray zone.
But yeah, man, that's all I've been playing.
All right. So what have I been playing? I didn't play a whole lot this week because, injuries and working and moving. I haven't quite moved next door or anything, but just kind of getting ready and prepare for that. And one of the things, geez, I was thinking like, I guess I'll leave. I noticed like when I go to the other apartment, which is just maybe 7 feet away, let's just say 10 feet, I can still get 2 bars. So I'll just leave that on as long as possible. I guess Wi-Fi, because in this room right here, I use a wired connection. It still works just as good. I use it for like the Xbox or PlayStation and obviously the computer. So, but Wi-Fi, we got the good Comcast plan. So we'll see how that goes going forward. But I don't see it going more than 3 weeks, but we'll kind of see how it is. Maybe I have to do a show on, maybe I could take my son's old laptop, right? Or go from the iPad or do something there. So I hope this doesn't affect my gaming, man. It probably will, but I'll be sad. Let you guys know when that does happen. But I guess for what I've been playing, like mostly, Manor Lords over on the Game Pass PC side of things. So what I did, Jesus, is I was looking at like a video that were like, oh, like now mods are out for the game. And I was like, oh, cool. So that was over on Nexus Mods. And I went over there and I was like, a lot of it was just like a lot of cosmetic stuff. There was no real like, cheats or whatever. Nothing for baby mode so much. I mean, there was only like a couple things, but a lot of it was just like change your flags to like your banners or your flags. I think they just call them banners in the game. which were like pretty much just like every country, whether it was China or Ukraine or US flags and different stuff like that. But I didn't change anything. I just kept it I think the stuff that they had that were like kind of German based were like just fine, for the years of like this mid 1600s. So I think they look pretty cool. So I just kind of kept everything the same there. So one of the things I think I did was like so for the mods itself, I tried installing them, and I know a lot of like the YouTube videos were showing me like, oh, this is how you install them, but a lot of that was for like Steam. So, for the Xbox Game Pass, I guess the files are a little bit, everything looks the same, but some of the file names are different. So one of the things I had to do was look in through Reddit. Reddit was showing there was a user on there talking about, well, just take the file, extract it, and then you have to change it. So, for example, if you go into the thing and it'll be like something like I forgot the actual name of the file, but it'll be like under PAKS, right? Which will be like the packs, and then everything's kind of numbered in there already. So I think it went up to like a 15 or like 14, which actually like comes with the game, right? It's actually part of it. So for the next mod, you wanted to call it pack 16, right? And then pack 17, pack 18, so on and so forth. And I was like, okay, I think I get it. So let me just go ahead and take whatever mod. I think the one I took was like the bigger storage or better storage. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to name it like pack 15. And then, which I just kind of copied over from the Reddit. And then I just named that file that, and then boom, like it actually worked. I was actually quite proud of myself. I was like, I actually got this to work. Like, I can't believe it. So, because the original way they kind of show you in like a YouTube video, like, oh yeah, just make a mods folder and throw them in there. Well, shit, that works fine, I guess, on Steam. But if you're running PC Game Pass, a little more modification is needed. So, and I don't get into the too much of the technical stuff because a lot of that just kind of throws me off, or I get scared, or I think I'm going to break the game file, or but I was like, no, I'm going to actually invest time in this and look into it. And sure enough, thank you, Reddit, for those users, because now I actually know how to do it without actually breaking the game. So the only one cheat that I really did, and I've made it pretty far in this game, and that was like on the not research, but more of the, what are they called? Like the perks in the game, or the unlocks, right? So unlock like beekeeping or something, where I think, who knows, maybe it might take me like 10 hours or something to get like the next perk point. I actually don't even know like how I even obtain these things. I've only gained like one in like a 12-hour, no, I'm going to say about 10 hours on this save. I think it's just a matter of like time, and maybe something else. I don't even know, like just making other buildings or upgrading your houses. So, and again, even with the upgrading of the houses, where I think that just kind of happens, where I'm like, the hell, the game didn't even tell me, like, you just have to keep clicking on the houses and going, oh, I can actually upgrade this from a level 1 to a level 2. So I feel like I'm just constantly clicking all over the game, right? Where, I'm just looking at all these different, like the houses, or some of the production things like the logging camp or the pantry, which they actually call it something else in the game. But, or like, yeah, just other different buildings that I'm trying to upgrade, whether it's a farm or so. I did that. I unlocked a bunch of stuff, but I haven't played it since I did like some of the modding things. I just kind of went in there and activated them and saved the game. But backing up to that, throughout this whole week, I've just been kind of playing it vanilla. And since the last time we recorded, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I'm going to make it, because I may have overbuilt houses for people to move in, and there's not enough food. And I'm still kind of even at that spot. I know I'm doing something wrong, where I'm not, either doing enough trade for food or building enough fields for the farms. So one of the things I think I did the other day or 2 days ago was like, oh, okay, I'm actually going to go in and kind of make sure I'm actually putting my fields in like the green area, right? There'll be like a color scheme on the map, to kind of shows you like the best place for whether it be barley or rye or wheat, which they don't call it wheat in the game. They call it, or even it's weird, like on the overlay, it's called something else. But I was like, I'm pretty sure that's wheat. And then if I put it in the green area, I'm going to get the most yield out of this thing. So even then, like I did it and it was like showing me like, I think it was like the most I got was like 42%. And I don't know if it was because of the time of the year that I actually created the field or not. So again, learning curve stuff, and I haven't been doing a whole heck of a lot of research. Some things I have gone in and, watch a video here or there. Check my Reddits and stuff for just the best strategies for things. And it's not like I'm going to do those things. I always want to do my own thing, right? To kind of see how that works out. So, but I'm doing okay. Like nobody's starving to death or anything. I mean, I'm coming pretty close to like, where it'll say, oh, like you're running out of supplies. I'm constantly clicking on it going, okay, well, it's not that bad, right? Where it'll say, really, you have 3 months of food, but you've only got 1 month of firewood. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me actually go into the details and look at it. So cool. So I just need to up my supply of like, the people that are bringing like the firewood to like all the different buildings, including your houses. So make sure there's enough workers and enough areas. The other strategy I've done is like with the farms, where I think now I have 3 farms, and I need to move my farms to a new area because some of the ones I had them in were like, yeah, pretty much like wheat doesn't grow over here, So, I might was only getting like 17%. So with that, now I'm actually getting 42, and I made the fields even bigger because you can put quite a few people actually in a farm. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think there's like could be like 15 different families in one farm. They don't live there. They have their own houses, but you can basically what you want to do, I think, is during the winter, nothing happens, right? So they don't even need to be in the farms. You can just kind of like what do they call it? Like suspend or basically just boot everybody out of there. So no need for that because wheat and everything else does not grow when it's snowing in the game. So you can kind of put them towards other resources like maybe a logging camp or something. And again, in this game, there is no like, as long as everybody has a house, it's not like, what am I thinking of here? Like Frostpunk or anything where people freeze to death or anything. They're only going to freeze to death if if there's not enough housing. So, which is usually not a problem at all. So only at the very, very beginning of the game, but I still had nobody freezing at that time. So maybe that's something that's the game's still in early development. And they're probably just working on it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I think even with those research points, it's not like I feel like I'm going to get a leg up on this game. It just means I can do more things, right? Like I can start making charcoal or, get bees for, honey. And hopefully then, I can do more trading, right? I want to trade those items once I produce them for items that I actually need. So, and as far as combat goes, I'm still trying to figure out this kind of RTS combat. I want to call it RTS, but it is a single player game. That's why I brought that up with Jesus. Like, I want to play some more RTS stuff, kind of learn it more. But I think it was a little buggy and glitchy because you have to actually wait until something random will pop up and say, hey, there's an area being taken over. And you'll see it on your screen and you can say, all right, go to the battlefield. I guess you don't have to do anything and they can automatically do it within, it'll say 90 days. Or you can click on it even still, and it still doesn't mean you have to go meet them at the battlefield. So, but if you click on it, it'll say, okay, this is where the battle's going to take place within 90 days or so. I think it's 60 or 90 days, right? Which is a long time. So obviously if you're early on in the game, you do have like what's called the regional wealth or kind of your wealth. And that's what the money you use to actually hire mercenaries. So I did that. I think I kind of went a little light. I just hired like two of those groups of militia because in order to kind of have your own, you would need like the resources, right? Like not just the soldiers, but just more of like, the swords and the armor and everything else, which I think it takes quite a while, like in a game to actually make all that stuff. So, with the blacksmith and, whoever else and the tannery for leather and you can buy stuff too as well. So you just got to make sure you have the coin to actually buy all these things. So and there was like a minimum amount, right, for you to have all that stuff. But anyway, so I get my 2 militia, and I'm like, all right, I get everybody just like an RTS, and I'm trying to get them all over to the battlefield, but it does for me. I can't find a control where I can just kind of control them all at once. So I'm trying to get people closer and closer. So, and I notice as the one like kind of group gets together, like the infantry gets together, it's like the enemy says enemy spotted, and then they start kind of like not really exactly like running towards you, but they see you and they start making movements, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, wait a minute, let me get my other group together. I think I had 3 groups, 3 infantries, if I'm not mistaken. So it might have been in the second battle. So I feel like I was getting people over there, and they all look exactly like you do. And I'm like, wait, who's kind of who here, Because everybody looks exactly the same, but obviously it's the ones you can control or the ones that are yours. So, and there's a lot of trees around, and I feel like also the game was kind of glitchy where I thought, oh, I'll beat this fucking mission so easy, so early. It'll be quick, right? Because I felt like they only had like kind of one infantry there, and like I'm gonna just waste them, and I'm gonna win the area, I assume. But no, they were like coming out of the trees, like from the north, and just like a sneak attack or something. I was like, what the fuck? Like, where'd all these fucking troops come from? So I'm trying to keep my archers back, and their volley of fucking arrows are doing a pretty good job, I felt. But then more showed up kind of behind me. And I was like, okay, maybe I should have waited. I think that was like where I kind of screwed up. Maybe I should have waited, let more time go by, right? Because 90 days, that's 3 months. That's a long freaking time, or even 60, right? So I should have waited for the full army to kind of show up. I could still get my militia together, kind of keep them in my area. But a battle will take place if they're coming from the north, right, on the map, and you can kind of like meet them in the middle without actually going to the battlefield. And it's not like the game doesn't go, oh, this is not the battlefield, right? No, they'll go ahead and fucking attack you, right? Or they'll attack each other. So not a good strategy. So I definitely learned my lesson on that one. So yeah, I've already lost 2 battles and I've won 0. And I'm like, crap, like my money's not exactly growing. And now I can't really hire any more militia because I've run out. So hopefully, but I'm going to still keep going with this kind of playthrough that I'm at, this save, and just see how it plays out, and see if if enough time needs to be passed to where maybe, because it doesn't show you like on the game, it just kind of shows you the months, and I guess it's up to you to kind of keep track of just how many years. I don't see a section on there like, oh, it's been 4 years since you've claimed this settlement. Nothing like that. I think I haven't even claimed my own. I have a manor, right? So I think it's kind of automatic, right, that I control the area, but I think it's just kind of holding it down. And so far, like nobody's like challenged me on my own land or wanted to take control of it. So, and there are things like where you can go in to look at the diplomatic choices that you have, and you can kind of send them like predetermined letters, like where it'll say, I don't like the fact that you're taking this area over, or something. You'll send them like a rhetoric letter or something. You can do that. I think it's just optional, but yeah. So far, I think I'm playing it on light, so to kind of get everything kind of geared up, and hopefully I can figure out because again, guys, I'm used to playing city skylines with no money, no, like just unlimited, like I never have to worry about that. Now it's like, oh man, like I need to make sure I've got, money coming in for if I need extra food or anything. Or yeah, shit, maybe I'm going to need weapons sooner. I think I'm making swords, Jesus. I'm making swords. I think I need to no, and I've got a lot of spears. I think I just need more swords. I think that's what it is. So, and the blacksmith, it's not like Jesus is not like he makes it at his house. That's what it is. So it's not like, oh, there's a separate like blacksmith building where I can easily just go in and manipulate it to, put more people towards it or build 2 blacksmith stations or anything like that. No, you kind of choose a house that has enough room. And once he's the blacksmith, like, I think that's kind of it, right? Where you can change him to something else, but you kind of need maybe more. I'm probably going to need more than 1 blacksmith. So same thing goes with like, if you want a tavern, I assume that's optional. It doesn't seem like there's a happy meter in the game or anything. And in order to have a tavern, right, you got to have beer, and then you got to have ale, and that's going to come from from harvesting not rye, but like, what are we thinking here? The barley. So yeah, there's a lot involved there. So I don't have a lot of beer going on in my tavern, but there are a few people that come in and visit, and hopefully I'm keeping the townspeople happy. They'll come in, they'll actually have a plate, get some bratwurst on there, and some nice cold beer. But yeah, so far it's been a lot of fun playing this game. So it really, man, the time flies by when I play this. It's like, holy crap! Like, I've been playing this game for 4 hours already. Like, oh man, crazy. Moving on though, more Wedding Witch, which is my bullet hell game. That's the one with the sexy female character, Jesus. So I think they did do like some sort of update recently to this game where, like I said, she's got the big bosom, and you can, your upgrades in this game are like, either choose the small breast or the large breast, or what is it, like her muscles or something like that, like kind of her physique. I forgot what they actually call it in the game. But so for example, like when you're upgrading, like I don't know if it's just throughout I think it's at the end of like the timer, right, for each kind of mission. And then you can that's when you get to choose like, okay, so bigger explosions, larger breast, or more dark magic or something. So and that one will include like that's her muscle fucking whatever. It's a weird game, but just think of like a Vampire Survivors, but again, this is with a sexy female witch. So yeah, but it's still fun. I was playing it today. I feel like it was freaking hard today for some reason. Barely getting past the second level. I don't know what it is, but again with roguelikes, right? Couldn't find enough little health things in the game, which are like the little orange lit up pumpkins that I'm like trying to get over all of those. A lot of it is like, again, Jesus, you're starting out this game, it's not like Vampire Survivors or Brotato where it's a lot of projectile weapons, right? You're starting off with a bouquet of roses, that like you got to be really kind of close to the enemy. So I think that's what sets itself apart from like a Vampire Survivors or Brotato game. And
Okay.
you will get upgrades, like once you get enough points, it'll pop up like a roguelike, like, oh, do you want more into like your pickup radius, for for upgrades, or like do you want a projectile weapon to shoot out every time your bouquet swings, so there is that. And yeah, man, I felt like when I first played this game, I first picked, oh, this is kind of easy, this is cool, like look at me go, man, I'm upgrading, and I'm kind of getting through the map and working my way up the pyramid to the main boss, and and now I feel like, holy crap, but again, every time you do that, right, you reach the pyramid, you reach the boss, you kill the succubus witch grandmother or whoever the hell you're fighting, and then that's when you can just upgrade your character, right? And that's the whole key of this game. Then you start a new game. And that's how you fucking just keep going through it. So for upgrades. But yeah, it's a fun game. I recommend it. I played it on the Steam Deck today. Jesus, got that all updated and everything's good to go on there. And yeah, played that and a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. So it was fun. Oh, one other game, Jesus, I did play. So you might want to check this out, Jesus. If you want some like good nostalgia from the PlayStation 1 era, I feel like this is a super early PlayStation 1, but it's a new game and it's called Crow Country. There's a demo out. And so this is like very PS1 style, the close up isometrical, move the camera, but like, what am I thinking of? Like maybe an early, I don't know about an early Resident Evil, but like Metal Gear Solid or something. I could, somebody's probably yelling at me. It's not like that at all, but it is like where, like, again, I'm playing on the Steam Deck. So it's like, oh, you could just press RB or right. Yeah. It's like RB and, the character, she'll do like a complete turn, or a turn in one direction. So it is like that. What am I thinking of? Like on the PlayStation 1, where it's like the tanky controls, but then with the left stick is where that's like how you can aim at enemies. And so here's kind of the story on this, Jesus. So you're like a female detective and you're driving out to this closed down theme park called Crow Country, and it's like so everything's kind of like tight corridors and everything, but it's very puzzly, and you're getting a lot of story pieces just from things from like reading the magazines that might be on there, or employee uh bulletins or logs, or you actually do meet somebody in there, one of the character, or one of the maybe a former employee, and you're going, what the hell's going on in here? He's talking about like, there's these creatures, man, they're gonna get you. um but yeah, I really like the art style, and it just kind of brings me back to that, to the early PlayStation 1, or even early maybe PC stuff, very early on. So highly recommend it. I think it was like $22. I didn't buy it yet, but you can actually go in and find like a place to where you can save the game, which is I found in like a certain room, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, man. Some good throwback fucking game stuff going on here. But in a lot of doors, they're locked. It needs a silver key. There's a lock in there. I can see it, but hell, like you gotta shoot. I barely figured out like talking to the freaking pawn goddess or whoever it was. Like I had to get like a code, to actually put in on the fucking wall. Like it was cool. Like it just makes you like explore a lot. And one of the things like it even talks about where you'll click on like like a bulletin on the wall, Jesus, it even tells you like it's kind of a tip, right? It'll say, hey, listen, like so you can shoot enemies from a distance, but your bullets don't really do much damage at all. So you have to be kind of close to them. So keep that in mind, right? With the wonky shooting, like you do have to be really close, because the first thing I did was I can barely see the enemy. I'm going to start shooting it, and bullets they don't come cheap, right? You can find them in toilets and barrels and other places, right? Where it's like, okay, you found a box of ammo. Cool. So, by shooting the barrel, right? So you're really only losing one bullet, but gaining a whole box of it, right? Like a Resident Evil style type thing. So it's cool. I like it. Brings back some nostalgia. So there's that, people. Over on Steam. Play that. Hades 2, Jesus, I bought it, but I have not had a chance to play it.
Yeah.
So I know I feel sad about that. I should have been talking about it on the show. I know Ryan and Mayo's played it. A bunch of people have played it, but not me yet. Early access on Steam only, as far as I know. Might be on Epic, but yeah, just on Steam for now. So I will be playing it tomorrow. But other than that, that's all I've been playing.
Well,
mostly, most of my time.
You know what time it is coming up.
Bedtime is bedtime.
It's news time. It's not bedtime. It's still light time outside.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's move on to some news here. Microsoft say they are planning more cuts after studio closing.
It's been a sad
The sudden closure of several video game studios at Microsoft Corp's Xbox division was the result of a widespread cost-cutting initiative that still is not finished. This week, Xbox has begun offering voluntary severance agreements to producers, quality assurance testers, and other staff at ZeniMax, which they purchased in 2020 for $7.5 billion. According to people familiar with the company's plans, others across the Xbox organization have been told that more cuts are on their way. Employees were shocked by the unexpected shuttering of 3 Xbox subsidiaries and the absorption of a 4th. The closures include a Tokyo-based Tango Gameworks, which last year released the critically acclaimed action game Hi-Fi Rush. Tango was in the process of pitching a sequel, said the people, who asked not to be identified, discussing non-public information. During a town hall with ZeniMax staff on Wednesday morning, Xbox president Matt Booty praised Hi-Fi Rush, but did not specify why the company had shut the development studio down behind it, according to the 3 people that were in attendance. Speaking about the closures more broadly, Matt Booty said that the company's studios have been spread too thin, like peanut butter on bread, and that leaders across the division had felt understaffed. They decided to close these studios to free up resources elsewhere, he said. Booty added that the shutdown of subsidiary Arcane Austin, the longtime developer of games such as Prey, was not connected to the performance of its new multiplayer game Redfall, which was a critical and commercial flop. Before their closure, Arcane had been looking to return to its roots by pitching a new single-player immersive sim game. So there's that, such as like Dishonored, those types of games. Jill Braff, who is the head of ZeniMax Studios, said in the town hall that she hoped the reorganization would allow the division, which also develops Fallout and Doom, to pull more focus on new projects. It's hard to support 9 studios all across the world with the lean central team with an ever-growing plate of things to do, she said. According to audio of the meeting reviewed by Bloomberg, she says, I think we are about to topple over, she added. Both Tango and Arcane released games last year, and we're looking to hire additional staff as they pitch new projects, which Booty and Braff suggested was the main factor behind their closures. Shinji Mikami, Tango's founder and studio head, departed last year. These cuts at Xbox come amid a wider contraction in the video game industry due to economic shifts following a period of rapid growth during this pandemic. Recently, Microsoft's gaming division has expanded more than any of its competitors via the acquisitions of ZeniMax and Activision Blizzard for more than $76 billion combined. In February, Microsoft cut 1,900 jobs, mostly at Activision Blizzard. The massive Activision Blizzard acquisition has ramped up scrutiny on the Xbox division from leaders at Microsoft, according to people familiar with the matter. In recent years, Xbox became deeply invested in Xbox Game Pass, a subscription service that allows unlimited access to hundreds of downloadable games for a monthly fee. To fill the service with new enticements, Xbox acquired dozens of studios, including outfits known for making smaller games, such as San Francisco-based Double Fine. While most game publishers are looking to take big swings with games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, Xbox promised to support less sprawling creative titles, such as Hi-Fi Rush, with smaller budgets and a lower sales expectation. It didn't matter if a game sold tens of millions of copies, as long as they help bolster the Game Pass library. But Game Pass has not seen the massive growth that Xbox boss Phil Spencer may have been hoping for. Matt Piscatella, who is the executive director of analysis firm Circana, said that monthly non-mobile video game subscription spending in the United States has been flat to low single-digit growth since the middle of 2021. He said, in our data, Game Pass spending really had its big growth period in late 2019 through early 2021 and has since settled. Purchasing games and add-on content as well as free-to-play models are still the vastly preferred method of getting to video games by U.S. consumers, at least for now. While there's still no indication that Xbox plans to ditch the Game Pass model, there are hints that its big bets have not paid off yet. During the most recent quarter, sales of the Xbox content and services were up 62%, but as Nico Partners analyst Daniel Ahmad pointed out last month, the growth was entirely due to the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. On social media, he noted that without sales from that deal, Xbox gaming revenue would actually have been down, Gunny, approximately 5% year over year, with no software and services growth and sharp hardware revenue decline. With console revenue down, the company recently began releasing some of its games on competing platforms. In March, interview with the gaming site Polygon, Spencer said that, quote, the thing that has me the most concerned for the industry is the lack of growth. So pretty much what they're saying is, had Xbox not bought Activision last year, Gunny, right, had the deal not gone through, Xbox would not have their sales and their content and services up 62% during their financial, like when they do their financial quarterly or whatever, like their look at how we did for the year or whatever. They're saying that it actually would have been down 5% overall across the board, across gaming, across their services, across their consoles. It would have been down 5% across everything had they not acquired Activision. Looks like Call of Duty is really boosting those numbers, huh? Call of Duty and Diablo.
Yeah, down 5%, right? They only made $80 billion this year, guys, in profits. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would never make an excuse for Microsoft or Daddy Nadella, after closing these studios. I couldn't even tell you like what the real reason, right? I guess that's something we'll never truly know, right? I think, what's going on over there at ZeniMax Bethesda, but especially with what is the Japanese studio game? Like, I mean,
Hi-Fi Rush.
yeah, the Hi-Fi Rush game, which it's like it wasn't so much for me, but man, that game was well received, and I can't believe they would just get rid of that studio. It's unbelievable. Like I can't think of one good reason why the fuck they would even shut it down. Like that's terrible. So, and I don't know if you notice something, Jesus, where I tend to really, as much as I don't go on Facebook, right? But I'm constantly on the X, and I'm scouring the internets, and like I think Phil Spencer is hiding under a rock somewhere because I have not heard from him, regarding anything with these studios. And I think what Sarah Bond is the president of gaming now or something, or I don't think maybe taking Phil's old spot, but I know that she was doing an interview last week, and I think she was even blindsided by one of the questions about shuttering these studios, and she couldn't even answer the question. So I think she just didn't even know. She was like, just the way she answered it was like, wait, what? What did she say? And everybody's like, she said a whole lot of nothing, But where normally she's more composed, right? Like she's more on her game. But yeah, I don't know. Why do you think they're just shutting down these three in particular, or just kind of like just to kind of trim the fat? And I know that next year, Jesus, next year we're gonna see gaming is probably going to be up 12%, right? Because now they'll have full control and revenue of Activision Blizzard going forward, with their Candy Crush and their Call of Duties, and yeah. So I don't know.
We'll see, man. I don't know. I think we'll probably see more closures coming up.
Yeah, it sounds like it, right? Like,
It is
gosh,
what
I
we're
hope
on,
not.
man.
And now apparently it's. I know this was like a thing, like whatever it is. It's almost been 2 years, Jesus, but they were kind of already rebranding things like it's Microsoft Gaming, not Xbox Gaming. So maybe Daddy Nadella is like, hey, little Phil, I gave you the 70 billion, bro. We're changing it, right? We're in control now. So maybe that's another reason we haven't seen him.
In other news, Assassin's Creed's new game by Ubisoft has now it has a name. Okay, it has a name. It's called Assassin's Creed Shadows
Ooh, that's a good name.
or Shadows. Yeah, Shadows, not Shadow. Shadows. Oh,
With
yeah.
an S. Ooh, taking place in Japan.
Release date will be November 15, 2024. I think tomorrow at 9 a.m. Oh no, they're doing their full reveal on May 15th at 9 a.m. So Wednesday, 9 a.m. They're gonna do a full reveal.
I'll be there.
Me too. Actually, I plan to watch it. So
I thought it was tomorrow, and I was like, damn, I got a doctor's appointment right at 9 o'clock, too. Yeah.
cancel it, Gunny. Cancel it.
I was like, oh, good. It's Wednesday. Perfect. I can plan around it now.
In other news, we'll some more news here. Some
Yeah,
Square
they just showed
Enix.
teasers for it.
Square Enix says they plan to aggressively pursue multi-platform game releases. That's right. The multi-platform bug is now in full effect and is now bit Square Enix right in the ass. In its earnings report released earlier today, the publisher shared plans to increase their profits, Gunny, stating that they will aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy that includes Nintendo platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Right now, Square Enix's biggest games like Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth have been restricted to the PlayStation, with PC releases for select titles, including Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Intergrade, following some time after the console launch. However, smaller new releases like the forthcoming Visions of Mana are seeing simultaneous releases on the Xbox. The company wrote that it hopes bringing its major franchises, including its back catalog, to more platforms will build an environment where more customers can enjoy our titles. It is a policy Xbox has started to pursue as well, releasing their exclusives on other platforms like Grounded and Pentiment on Switch, and the highly praised but ill-fated Hi-Fi Rush on PS5. The news that fans can expect more Square Enix titles on more platforms was coupled with additional reports that the company is undergoing a round of layoffs. According to a report in VGC, the publisher is planning to let go of an unconfirmed number of people across the United States and European businesses. The Verge has reached out to Square Enix for comment, and they haven't said anything. But there's that.
Yeah, and I think that next article, I guess you could probably disregard it because it did talk about layoffs for Square
it did?
Enix. Yeah, well, I put a second one in there for layoffs, but You kind of
Oh, wow.
addressed that in this article as well.
I
But I
knew
think,
this one.
I think it would be good, Jesus. Like, I just have to say, it's going to be good for not just Xbox players, right? But hey, wouldn't it be nice, Jesus? Day one, Steam, whatever. I've got a PS5, but I want to buy it on Steam day one. Like, give me the option.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait 6 months or 1 year, or screw it, put it on the Epic Store too. Put it everywhere, right? It's not gonna. And with the new Switch 2 coming, like, will the next Final Fantasy run on the new Switch 2? Then shit, make a port for that too.
Yeah.
Everybody can enjoy it at the same time.
See here. Go to more news. GameStop. GameStop stock, Gunny. Oh my God, Gunny, are
I
you
was
in on this
watching
one,
it
Gunny?
today.
Are you in on this one, Gunny?
I'm not in on it, but I was
GameStop
watching it
stock
unfold today.
has now surged in value after a meme stock investor, Roaring Kitty, made their return to social media after nearly 3 years, Gunny. The investor's return does not positively or negatively impact the uncertain future of GameStop, but many investors are now rallying behind the volatile stock value. Back in March 2024, a report painted a bleak future for GameStop due to declining revenue for the fourth quarter of 2023. Analyst Michael Pachter suggested that GameStop's revenue and sales would decline to an unsustainable level in the near future. This decline is attributed to the increasing sales of games by online competitors like Amazon and eBay. Despite uncertainty about the long-term future of GameStop, investors are now eagerly rallying behind the company's stock. On the night of May 12th, the Roaring Kitty Twitter account, run by Keith Gill, signaled his return to social media with a new post, which depicts an image of a man beginning to sit upright and focus on a game. This same image was posted by GameStop back in February, so many users guessed that the valuation of GameStop would be greatly affected. According to CNN, GameStop stock went on to surge 74% today in the morning after Roaring Kitty posted on Twitter, and the account proceeded to post even more tweets that would help the stock surge by another 110% to $36.70, and they are now maintaining their value at around $30 mark. What's more, stock trading for GameStop shares were even halted several times due to this increased volatility. Data company S3 Partners claims that short sellers saw $1 billion in mark-to-market losses by betting against GameStop. Many sellers aim to turn profits on stock by borrowing, selling, and returning shares after purchasing them at a lower price. So yeah, people that were shorting GameStop apparently lost a lot of money today because
Yeah.
guess what? That shit went up by a lot and you lost a lot of money. If you shorted it, you probably lost an insane amount of money. Probably money that you don't have. You've
Yeah, they
lost
were pissed.
everything.
Like, and I believe, I don't know what the final count was, but I think they stopped it 6 times. That was the last
Did
time I
they?
checked. Yeah, I checked X, like it was like up to 6 times already. So,
Okay,
but that
nuts.
article is kind of later, so I think it did land at that $30 mark per share.
Yeah. Well, let's go to more news here. I guess I'm not rich. I didn't get in on the GameStop stock.
No,
I should have.
I need money to do that.
PlayStation names Hideaki Nishino and Herman Holtz as their new CEOs, succeeding Jim Ryan. Sony will be replacing former PlayStation boss Jim Ryan with not just one, they need 2 people to replace him. He's so
Damn.
great. He's
Wow, I
so
would be
good.
proud.
Listen, he's so good at his job. They don't need one guy. They need 2 fucking people to replace him, Gunny, okay? That's how
Fuck.
good this guy was. All right? This guy,
Jim was the
yeah,
king.
he was so good at his job. They need 2 people to replace him. So they got 2 CEOs incoming. Hideaki Nishino and Herman Holtz, the company announced today. Effective June 1st, 2024, Hideaki Nishino will be the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Platform Business Group, and Herman Holtz will be the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Studio Business Group, as revealed in the press release today. Hiroki Totoki had been serving as interim CEO in the wake of Ryan's retirement and will serve as a chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment, in addition to his role as president, COO, and CFO of Sony Group Corporation. Both Holtz and Nishino will report to Totoki. Says here, Sony Interactive Entertainment is a dynamic and growing business that delivers incredible entertainment experiences through the connection of content and technology, Totoki said in a statement. These two leaders will have a clear responsibility and will manage strategic direction to ensure the focus remains on deepening engagement with existing PlayStation users and expanding experiences to new audiences. There's that. Says here, as senior VP of the Platform Experience Group, Nishino is already embedded in PlayStation's hardware and tech
Yep.
operations. In his new role, Sony says he'll continue to be responsible for the tech, the products, the services, and platform experience, as well as overseeing any third party publisher and developer relations and commercial operations, which include sales and marketing of hardware, services, and peripherals. Holtz, meanwhile, is currently Senior Vice President and Head of PlayStation Studios. In addition to developing content across PlayStation consoles and PC, he's helped oversee the growth of PlayStation's IPs across film and TV through PlayStation Productions. Unsurprisingly, Sony's press release name drops HBO's smash hit adaptation of Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, developed by PlayStation Productions. In his new role, Holtz will be responsible for the development, publishing, and business operations of SIE's first party content. They also said, we will continue to connect players and creators through world-class products, services, and technology. We always strive to grow our community even bigger with innovation in every area at Sony Interactive Entertainment, Nishimo said in an announcement. He said, I am honored to be appointed such an important role alongside Herman. By working more closely together, we will be positioned to build an incredible experiences for an ever-expanding audience now and in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of both of those guys. So we've talked about them over the years as well. So I think they've both been with PlayStation since PlayStation 2.
Yeah, so there's been a while. It's not like new people, right? Like these
Yeah,
guys been
these are
around.
these
They
are
know, they know
seasoned
what they're doing.
freaking veterans here of the
They know the
brand.
PlayStation brand. Yeah. So on to some more news here real quick. All right. More news, more news.
I do have one piece of news, Jesus, I wanted to read. Since we're in the Xbox mood of things. But
Okay.
this is regarding Xbox closing down their 360 store, which is in July. So there is like a rare Xbox 360 sale for 60 non-backward compatible games that you can
Okay.
go and purchase. So a lot of these are digital games, obviously that you can go in the store. I think you just do it on the web or do it on your 360, whichever one you want to do. And a lot of these are like the arcade games, if you remember those. Some of these I actually remember. So you can go in there and get these for, $1, $2, $7. Check those games out over on the Xbox 360 store. Yeah. So get them before they're gone, man. Non-backwards compatible games. So that's why I kept the 360 around, play some of the classics. But some of those on that list, Jesus, that I'm not going to read out here, but a lot of them are have been ported to, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and then move forward onto the new platforms. So they kind of are backwards compatible in a way. It's the same game. So it's just I guess you'd actually have to repurchase them under that. I noticed that too with Xbox for the non-compatible games.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of good classics.
Yeah.
Not all Xbox first party games. They were just all from smaller studios and your old Kanan Lynch and your freaking singing games and all that other Child of Light, right? Like obviously that went to Xbox One, but just under, a new port. Dogfight 1942, that was a good one.
Oh,
Good classic.
classic games.
But again, you can probably just play them on your Xbox X, right? Or your S. It's probably in the store, it just got ported over. Who knows? Maybe it hasn't. There are a few that haven't, but these are just for under your profile games.
All right, let's hear more news. More news, more news. So, Hellblade 2, Gunny. Do you know when this game is releasing?
I want to say it's not this week, is it? Is it next week? I actually don't know the date. Friday? Just guessing. Very soon.
May 21st. So, very, very soon. Like next Tuesday.
One more week. Yeah.
Anyways, Hellblade 2 is releasing then, but I mean, what marketing have you seen Xbox do for this game? I haven't seen anything. I think they put a tweet out with it, like a photo of like the Hellblade thing, and That's it.
And I haven't seen, maybe I haven't seen it yet because you know how there's like a IGN always gets the freaking preview in first?
Yep.
Even though I don't even subscribe to them on YouTube, IGN, because I just get bombarded with fucking videos. Like, it's still going to show up in my feed somehow, or I'll see it from GameSpot or somebody, but I haven't seen it. I'm like, where's the preview? So maybe there's like an embargo on a preview. I don't know, or they just haven't given access to the game. I don't know. It's okay, right? I'm not a big like, oh, I need to see the first hour of gameplay a week before it comes out. That's not like me, But I would like to know that there's one out there, at least a preview of it.
Yeah.
They go to preview events, right? All these different game medias and your game informers, and right, they fly down there and they spend a couple days there and playing the game, and then obviously it's an embargo, right? And then they get a review copy. That's usually the way these things work. I know there's not going to be like a physical disc yet or something. This is like the second or third time Xbox, or yeah, I guess I can say Xbox has done that with like a game of this scope. I'm not going to call it like a AAA, but still kind of an indie studio.
Still though, man, like no marketing's been done for this game. Currently, okay, there's like no interest in this game, apparently. It's currently sitting at 233, number 233 in the global Steam bestsellers list. Number 233.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the first one, yeah.
Well, let's look at it real quick.
Is there like a pre-order list? I wonder if it's near the top. I would think with it just coming out within the next week. I think it's going to get high scores. I personally think it is. From that last E3 last year. Or no, they did an event earlier this year, right? January, February. They did like their direct or whatever their Xbox calls them, and they showed off more kind of cinematic gameplay. But I think even judging from the first one, and it's going to be similar, and it's going to be 11 hours, and you got the great mocap, and you got the story bits there. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to I'm going to predict this game gets a 9, Jesus.
You really think it's going to get a 9?
I think so. But
if it was going to get a 9, what do you think Microsoft would be like fucking out here just like spamming everyone with Hellblade 2 shit?
What, then give it the marketing treatment that it deserves? I mean, hey, it's coming to Steam. It's coming to Game Pass. Shoot, it might even come to a PS5. Well, I guess we would have known if it was coming to PS5, right? Like they would have to develop for it. Unless they surprise us.
Okay.
During some sort of preview event.
All right. Listen, so it's sitting right now at 203 in top sellers, so it's not even the top 200. And it's number 62 in wishlist.
Number what?
62.
62? Yeah, that's not good, right? It should be in the top 10.
Well, I'm just like,
they could surprise us though, right? I mean, this could be a hit. Another hit, right? Like the first one was a good indie hit. Success, I would say.
Let's see what
and that was before
games,
Microsoft bought them, right?
Let's see what hit games are above it on the wish list. So there's a game called Throne and Liberty, Hyper Light Breaker, Risk of Rain, Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill 2, Dune Awakening, a game called Once Human, Warhammer Space Marine 2 is number
there we go.
11.
Give me some new Space
But
Marine.
I mean, Frostpunk is number 3 on the wish list. That's coming out July. And this game is number 60 something. And it's what the fuck, dude? What's going on here, man?
Yeah, I don't know. What the hell's happening with that? Like, is it? I don't know. I mean, I haven't even been to like.
I don't think they're confident in the game.
It's coming to Game Pass. That's what people are saying, right? That why should they bother marketing it?
That shouldn't be an excuse, dude. I'm afraid for their studio, man, because what if this game flops?
Yeah, I saw those tweets.
Is Ninja Theory the next one to say, "Oh, we're shutting you guys down"? Sorry.
They're probably shaking in their boots, right? They're like, "Oh my gosh!" After this news, yeah, like this game better be a 9 or better, or we're cooked. No, I don't know. I'm sure they probably got an email from.
And I know that, like
Matt Booty, right? You're okay, guys. Don't worry. You're okay for now.
And I know people say like, "Oh, well, like it's a short game, so it's a good thing for it's a good thing for Game Pass to have a short game come out on it." But is it though? Because a short game only means you subscribe to the Game Pass for 1 month and beat that short game, and then you're done. Then you unsubscribe. Whereas a game like The Elder Scrolls, Diablo,
Yeah, live
Fallout,
service. Yeah.
Fallout 76. Those are games where you play and you want to keep playing and you want to keep building your base and keep your base alive. And so you keep subscribing to Game Pass to keep playing Fallout 76, to keep playing Diablo, to keep playing these types of games. So I don't see how like a game that's a short game is a good thing for Game Pass. I just don't see it. I mean, I guess
But
it has
yeah.
variety, right? But I don't see people
Well, I think
subscribing to
Microsoft
Game
sees the
Pass.
same thing, right? That's why they release everything on Steam day one. And I think again we'll see Call of Duty coming to Steam day one, like like we have. Well, I guess we haven't seen it, right? Well, recently, right? Recently, Activision was doing it, but it wasn't. It was even before the merger, right? Just they would put a game out and they'd be like, "Nope, you can't. It's coming to the Blizzard launcher for the next 6 years." Anyway, but I think it would be good for Game Pass users because I feel like we're kind of getting a little bit of everything, something for everyone. That's just my thinking, right? I'm getting live service games, I'm getting single players, I'm getting indies, I'm getting triple A's. Like that's the way I always see it. I don't know. I
don't know, man.
Yeah, I feel like you just need that large variety in Game Pass, to kind of bring in different demographics of gamers. Where, yeah, well, because look at that, Jesus. We saw EA plays like, hey, just I'm sure whatever deal they had with Microsoft, like, can we just kind of piggyback, onto your Game Pass and work out a deal so more eyes are on it, right? So it's not two separate apps. Maybe Ubisoft, Jesus, maybe they'll actually cave one of these days and say, fuck it, we've been trying to do the whole $15 thing and just kind of doing it on our own. Then what do they do next? Don't they have a console version of it now? I forgot what that one is. Is that
What?
Ubisoft, right? Don't they do a console version on Xbox for their kind of like their subscription based model? I don't even know what it's called. I don't know. Whatever it is. I can Google it, but right. And then who knows? Maybe that'll change, right? And they can come to Game Pass. I think the real question is, I know I'm getting off topic and going off the rails here, but we still don't know if Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass. Nobody knows. I just assumed it was, but every time it pops up on a social media post or I see it on YouTube, I'm like, wait, what? It's not coming? Well, nobody knows. They haven't even announced it. They haven't announced anything, whether it's coming day or date. We've only gotten one game so far, right? Diablo 4. It's the only game we've seen actually come to Game Pass. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that evolves, right? Because everything's, like I said, Steam day one. But I don't know. I think at the end, Jesus, if this is like a really good, as good as the first one or even better, word of mouth, right? Social media. But yeah, it is, it'll gain traction and it'll sell a lot on Steam, and
I hope so.
who knows, maybe get a few people into the Game Pass ecosystem, right? Forget about the Xbox. That's kind of dead, right? The whole console's dead. But yeah,
Speaking
it'll
of
get them.
Xbox, Ninja Theory said that their upcoming action adventure game Hellblade 2 will run at a dynamic resolution on the Xbox Series X and S, Gunny.
I can't wait for that.
And
Yeah.
the console version will not support a 60 frames per second mode.
I figured.
Yeah.
Probably, and again, I'm going to say this now, Jesus, not at launch, right? They didn't say it. I'm saying it. Not at launch. You know when that's going to come? Yes, it's going to come in like October or something. Guess what, guys? We like you guys so much. This is how they do it, right? This is their trick. This is how they do it. They did it with Starfield. Guess what, guys? You guys are just the greatest fans ever. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to give a 60% or 60 FPS prioritization mode just for you guys, Yeah, because it won't be ready at launch.
Hellblade 2 VFX director Mark Slater-Tunsil revealed that the next-gen visuals seen in Hellblade 2 will come at a price on Xbox Series X and S, as the console version will not only run at a dynamic resolution, but it will also not support a 60 FPS mode. To clarify, he said the game will target a frame rate of 30 FPS on both current-gen Xbox consoles. There are no graphics mode options available either in Hellblade 2 on the Xbox Series X and S, and those who are looking to play the game at 60 FPS will need to invest in a capable PC. The VFX director explained that the experience favors a more cinematic feel, much like in movies that run
Yeah.
at 24 frames per second. It says here, combat and gameplay in Hellblade 2 appears to be slower in pace, so the lower frame rate may not be as bothersome to some. Still, it will come as a disappointment to fans who are hoping for some kind of performance mode to be included. Xbox first-party titles have been shy of supporting 40 FPS modes in games, something that Sony actively supports in many of their first-party games.
Yes.
The inclusion of a 40 FPS mode in Hellblade 2 would improve the input response while retaining a smooth visual experience, at least on a VRR-supported display. Additionally, it was revealed that Ninja Theory founder Tamim Antoniadis is no longer with the studio, and that he was only involved with the development of Hellblade 2 in the early stages. It is unknown whether this was due to a creative difference between him and Microsoft, but the game's development is now led by environment art director Dan Atwell. So there's that.
Yeah, it's and again, Jesus, I'll be fine whether I play it on this low end, 1070 PC. I assume it'll run it without looking at specs. I think I'm trying to think now if there was the preload. It's got to be up there somewhere. But no, I'll be fine playing it on a console in 30 FPS.
I'm gonna play it from the PC on Game Pass. I'm not buying it.
Mm.
I'm not buying
Here's
shit.
I can go ahead and do the I never do the pre-installs, right? Because I always decide on that day, you know what? I feel like playing on a PC today, or no, I'm going to play this on an Xbox. Oh, wait, I don't have enough room on the Xbox. Fuck it, it's going on PC Game Pass. Because I have the 2 extra drives. They're old HDD drives, but still, it's okay. I could probably get, I'll try to get close to 60 FPS if I can. Let's see here, geez. I just want to. There's not a lot to this here, actually. I'm looking at PC Game Pass. Oh, here we go. So just kind of looking at the recommended requirements on PC, Windows 10 or better. Let's see, graphics 3080. Yeah. Oh, the RTX 3080. AMD 6800 XT. Let's see here. Keyboard, mouse, memory 16 gigs, video 6 gigs. I should be okay, right? I don't know. Does that mean I can't run a 1070? Because that's recommended. Yeah, there we are. GTX 1070. So I'll be okay. Means I might get 60 if I kind of lower the shadows and other things. But other than that, I'm going to play it on the X. It'll be fine. This time I'm going to play it all the way through, not get halfway through twice. I'm determined this time. I'm committed.
In other news, Assassin's Creed news, Ubisoft's upcoming game hub for the Assassin's Creed series, titled Assassin's Creed Infinity, may include a monthly subscription, Gunny.
Wait, say that one more time.
Ubisoft's, okay, I'm going to say this one more time for you, Gunny. Ubisoft's upcoming game hub for the Assassin's Creed series, titled Assassin's Creed Infinity, may include a monthly subscription.
That's right. Okay.
A YouTuber, Jonathan, who had previously shared leaked information regarding Assassin's Creed Mirage prior to their announcement of it, took to Twitter and X to reveal that he's heard Assassin's Creed Infinity will focus on microtransactions and will have a monthly subscription that is a bit like Xbox Game Pass. The content creator mentioned that the subscription plan offered alongside Assassin's Creed Infinity will give subscribers access to all the earlier titles in the series. He isn't sure whether new releases will be included in the offer, however. He said that the subscription would also grant players access to future DLC and an exclusive skin or item per month. While Jonathan says he isn't 100% certain of any validity of the information, he chose to share it either way in order to create some negative buzz and push Ubisoft to not venture too far into this business model, and possibly to reconsider their platform's economic prior to their release by the end of the year. So whatever, it says here, but yeah, they're releasing this Assassin's Creed Infinity thing, which is like a game hub for like Assassin's Creed games, I guess. And
yes, they did talk about this earlier.
And it might be a subscription thing. We think another subscription we could sign up for? I thought Ubisoft Plus was enough. Now we got to sign up for Assassin's Creed Infinity too.
This is getting confusing now.
Yeah.
Like, what
many subscriptions do we
include
need?
older games, previous games in that?
Dude, Ubisoft Plus includes older games. What do you mean?
But okay,
I
they're talking
guess
about in-game items, or I don't know. Yeah, that's why I was confused and had to repeat it because I'm like, wait, what the fuck are they doing?
this is only for Assassin's Creed games, though. This is not for Ubisoft games. This is exclusively for Assassin's Creed. That's it. That's the only series.
Oh, so
So
probably like, yeah, kind of like how they do they have that other internal thing they do for all Ubisoft games. I forgot what that's actually called, but that's more like earn in-game stuff and cosmetics and yeah, other things. But
I don't know, man.
I wonder too if thinking about that game hub kind of going forward, is that going to be like, for example, and it was a thing earlier this week, Jesus, and that was where like Sony did with Helldivers too, and the same kind of treatment's getting happening with Ghost of Tsushima, where the PC port may have delisted in 200 countries, that don't support PSN.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this right. I get it. They stay in our ecosystem. That's how That's I guess that's how they want to do it, right? It's their game, and if they're publishing it, I get it. So I wonder if that's going to be a thing too. But again, I don't play like Ubisoft games on Steam, right? I mean, I guess I do, but sometimes I've actually bought them and then forgot that they have their own freaking launcher. If you remember, like last year, where I kind of did that, I'm like, where'd my games go? They're not here, right? And then I was like, holy shit, I forgot I actually bought it directly from Ubisoft, on
Yeah.
their own fucking app. So, what is it called? The Uconnect or Ubisoft Connect. So, yeah, you're kind of logging in directly. I think that's what they kind of want to do, right? They want to pay it fast and loose with Steam. Say, hey, log in with your ID. But a lot of games, I guess live service games do that already anyway.
But
So,
that's all I have for news.
all right. I think that's it for me too.
I'm looking forward to Hellblade 2, though. I mean,
Yeah,
short
me too.
game. I like the first one a lot. Maybe I'll play the first one again all the way through to be fresh on the story, because it's a short game, right? The first one,
Yeah, I want to say it was.
and I have it,
I want to say it was 10 hours,
and I
but
have it on this Game Pass on the PC, which I pay for that I never use.
right. That was the thing when, yeah, that was kind of cool. That just kind of came out of nowhere. It was like, cool, everybody gets to play this, when kind of Game Pass was
Yeah,
still like in its honeymoon stages. And yeah, and everybody was like, fuck yeah, everybody gets to play it who had it. So
I'm gonna download
it
the
was
original
nice.
one right now, and I'm gonna play it tonight.
And that was cool because I don't think we knew it was coming. And then it was like, oh, like Xbox didn't even own it then, but they threw it on Game Pass anyway. And yeah, that was cool. Good times.
I'm downloading it right now.
Um,
Yeah.
but over to the console corner stuff, guys. Like I call it the console corner, but more for your PlayStation Plus. I don't even know if I have this right or not, Jesus, but I believe, let's see, PlayStation Plus subscribers, right? I think you still have to claim your stuff over there for your EA Sports, FC24, your Destiny 2 Lightfall. I don't know if I think there's still a thing, Jesus, or I saw it recently for Destiny 2. If people are actually still playing that, I believe all the DLC is free until the final shape, I think it's called, is actually released. So everything's kind of free on there. Like I guess that's for all platforms. So I'm gonna check that out real quick. Was it final shape, right? Let's see, what's the release date for that? June 4th. So yeah, you got a ways. Got a ways to go. You can kind of play everything on Destiny 2. So yeah,
Huh.
but I think all the DLC is free. Yep.
Cool.
Let's see if it just kind of pops up. Yeah, here we go. So just kind of clicking on Windows Central here. Uh, Destiny 2 DLC expansion is free to play until the final shape, other than the one that isn't worth your money anyway. I think I know which one he's talking about. So yeah, so every big Destiny 2 DLC. And it doesn't say like platform specific. So I think it's just on where it's played. Is it on Steam or just not on Steam? I can't remember. Might just be on consoles or something. So I remember that being a thing. I don't know if they delisted it since. Yeah, let me just find out. No, it's on there. So Destiny 2's on Steam. Probably there. It's probably just not on Epic or something. But yeah, here we go. Free to play. And probably it kind of shows in the store like it has all the prices, but I think you can just download them once you start the game up. So at least I think that's the way it works. Yeah, do that, guys. Go play some of that before it's all gone, or at least until the final shape comes out. Over on Xbox, Jesus, we have a game on here. It's kind of an older game on Xbox Game Pass. Oh, let me back up for a minute. PlayStation Plus, Ghost Runners 2 and Tunic are also on PlayStation Plus as free games as your monthly subscription. But over to the Game Pass, you do have Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. I never played that. I know I played it. It might have been demos or probably did buy it, but just never completed it. I've heard nothing but really good things about it. So that has finally come to Game Pass. I know that's let me see who actually owns that. I know 505 published that game. So that is from Starbreeze Studios, the workshop. I think they're working on a new one, or it's kind of be like a remake or something for Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. So check that game out. I hear nothing but really good things about it. Anything else good coming over to the Game Pass? Well, besides Hellblade. We do have, here we go. Little Kitty, Big City. So I did play a little bit of this, Jesus. I was going to buy it for my son since he's a big kitty cat fan. But yeah, check that out. Little Kitty, Big City over on the Game Pass PC side of things, and probably over on the console as well. Over to the Epic Store, you've got Circus Electric, but Electric is spelled Electrique. Little indie game over there. And then the second game was just like some in-game DLC for something that looked more mobile, so I didn't even add it in there. One of those free-to-play games. But that's all I have, Jesus. Done.
All right, man.
You guys can go find Mayo. Where's the Mayo 1? Doing Mayo things. The big steamer. But you're a big steamer too, Jesus. Should say that. Mayo's a big PlayStation steamer guy / steamer. And he probably gets on that Switch playing Mario more than we know.
Yeah.
Hey, any Steam Deck stuff, Jesus, before we get up out of here?
No, not really. Yeah, that's all I have, man.
All right, go find me, guys. I'm Gamertag Gunny Chief. That's one word. That's over on pretty much everything except for that's on the Epics and the Ubisoft Connects and Discord and the Xbox and everywhere else. But over on the PlayStation, HGP_Gunny, playing some Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima. Where do we find you, Jesus? Where can people find you?
Find me on everything that's Jesus Walks Loud. I'll be playing some Fallout 4, some Helldivers 2, some Call of Duty. I'll be playing some other stuff eventually. Maybe, of course, Hellblade. And yeah, so we'll see. Unfortunately, we're going to record the next show before the next Hellblade comes out. So you won't hear about it till like 2 weeks from now, from us at least, right? So
yeah,
that is what it is. But I look forward to playing it. I look forward to playing other stuff, I guess. I'm going to try out Mandalorian. I'll give that a shot this week. And yeah, find out everything. Jesus Walks Loud. I'll be out there. Find me. Find us on the Discord. Join our Discord. Is the best place to find us. Literally, probably the easiest way to talk to us and actually talk to us is on Discord. And we will talk to you. We're not like other podcasters that think they're too good to talk to you. We actually are just people like you, and we don't care.
We're gamers just like you.
We're
not journalists.
Talk to you about whatever.
We're real working, hard working people.
Find the Mayo as the Mayo on shit. We're out of here. Peace out, Brussels sprouts. We'll catch you on the next edition of the Horrible Gamers Podcast. We're out of here. Let's get out of here again. Let's go play some games. We're out of here. Bye.
Go play some Hades.
Yeah, go
Hades
play whatever. Bye.